love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared. Back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate, I attack. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared. Love the
sometimes you gotta dig through that garbage to find your diamond.
So, like, what pulls you through that?
I don't believe in giving up.
Want some oysters?
Can I be honest?
You don't like oysters?
It looks like a vagina.
Well, maybe that's why I like it so much. I was about to say, I wonder why I eat so many oysters.
I love that for you. So
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Bird 91. Let me get in front of the light because I like we're doing light things. Anyway, listen, hey guys, welcome to Little Black Bird 91. I hope it doesn't cut out. I'm probably speaking a bit too loud. I need to be careful. My mic's been a bit sensitive these days, so I'm gonna have to talk a little bit more quieter. But listen, I hope you guys are good. I hope you guys are well. Welcome to Little Black Bird 91. We're giving you guys a super panel talking about Ready to Love. Yes, Ready to Love. The latest episode 4, was really, really good actually. There was a lot of things that were going on that I can't wait to break down and get into. Of course, I'm not going to be doing it by myself. I will be joined in a few minutes with a few other wonderful, exciting people who are going to help me break this particular episode down. For those of you who are in the chat right now, I want you to put something in the chat for me. Who was your favorite scene, or what was your favorite scene to watch on this episode? What was your favorite scene? What particular couple or particular interaction got you going on this episode? Just type it in the chat for me. What particular interaction on this episode did it for you? Which one did it for you? Which one got you excited? Which one made you feel excited? Tell me in the chat. Somebody says Shanice walking in a cat suit. Ooh, okay, I hear it. I definitely hear that. What are some of the other scenes in this episode that made you go, You know what I'm saying, True said getting her walking papers. Damn. I feel it. I definitely feel it. Rose, good afternoon or good evening for you guys. I appreciate you. It's always good to see you, Rose. Someone else said the pool party. The pool party was a nice viewing pair. Someone said CALIL with the hoochie daddy shorts. We call those who's your daddy shorts around here. You know what I'm saying to you? Because who is your daddy? All right. It's okay. Stop that. Jesus told me to stop that. All right, cool. So I need to behave myself. Tay and Cam. Okay, I definitely hear that. Tay and Cam as well. Definitely see that as well. Watching Fitz squirm. Oh, okay. All right, we're watching Fitz squirm. Is that because of the fact that he said he was maybe polygamous and, you know, we feel some way? Is that what we're trying to say? All right. NAEEM talking about he likes them hood. Well, if he likes them hood, why didn't he go after True? He should have sent a bit more energy towards her then. All right. I definitely hear you. Some Felicia also said, yes, them shorts. Clearly, y'all need some prayer and some rejuvenation in the spirit, because y'all are watching people's shorts and looking for things you should be looking for. Someone said polycurious is what they were looking for. Okay, they enjoyed that on the show. I love that. Okay, all right. Although the person denied being polycurious, I mean, they were curious about poly, but nothing else to it. But I hear that. All right. Any other things in there? Eddie and Angie at the pool party. I hear that, baby doll. I hear that. Listen, we have got 200 people in the room and it is climbing as we speak. So I want you to do me a massive favor. If you're all here, do me a glorious favor. I want you all to press the like button right now. Yeah, don't waste my time and don't waste yours, okay? Rise up, don't waste my money and don't raise yours. I want you to press that like button right now for me, okay? It helps with the analytics and it helps also with YouTube, letting them know that we have a great community around here, okay, as well. All right, someone said I'm looking good tonight. Thank you. I went to get a haircut. I said I need to just chop this hair because it was looking a bit mangled, so I had to come, you know, and cut the hair a bit. You know what I'm saying? And I got a shiny forehead, and I've actually got a forehead. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, the barber I think went a bit too far. I can't lie to you. I told barber I was a little bit disappointed. I said, bro, I'm Ghanaian. We usually have a 3 head, not a 4 head, but now I can put 4 fingers there. I'm a little bit concerned, bro. You went a little bit back, and you pulled a little bit to the side of my, you know what I'm saying? You went a little bit just just past the forehead area. He went a little bit past it. You know, when I start seeing the line not connecting on the forehead temple here, I get a little bit concerned. He dragged me a little bit wide. I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. He dragged me a little bit wide, okay? A little bit wide. The goalpost went a bit, you know what I'm saying? Right now the H is looking a little bit wide, you get me? But we're gonna work with it. I told him we're going to work with it. He was going to spray me, and I said, don't spray me. You need to see the demise of your work. It wasn't good enough. But next time I'm going to allow you. You're going to come back correct, okay? So he's going to put some proper lines up on there next time, okay? All right, but the beard is looking strong. I can't lie to you. I said that's what saved him. I said, listen, you're lucky. I was not going to pay you, but the beard was looking really good. I said, I don't know if you added some sheen to it whilst I was asleep. Maybe I shouldn't sleep next time. You know what I'm saying to you? That's probably what probably happened when I probably nodded my head. That's when you know, took me right past the forehead. Next time, don't fall asleep in your barber. That will teach you next time. You know what I mean? I was falling asleep, probably a bit too tired, and probably that's what took him a bit wider. Because he did drag it a little bit wide. Have mercy. It's past the forehead, sir. Come on. Anyway, listen. We're going to let it go. The hair will grow back. You know what I'm saying to you? It will grow back and we'll be okay. All right? We will be okay. But listen, we're going to talk about this show now because Ready to Love is back with a bang, episode 4. I'm loving the fact that Philly is real. If you're from Philly, put it in the chat that you're from Philly, please. Because let me tell you something. Philly, we're going to put some respect on your name because you are probably one of the realest seasons since I've seen season 1 and 2. Probably one of the best seasons I've seen. I can't lie to you in terms of people just being real. In terms of people just being real. I gotta be honest. Okay? They you know? Yeah. So, I gotta be honest with you. Okay? So shout out to Philly for holding it down as well. Okay? So not Philly, not NJ. I hear it. Okay, cool. Let me get my 2 panelists on. I know the rest are gonna join in a few minutes. You know, some people like to be like me, which is really what we call fashionably late. So you know, I can't really talk. You know, I'm usually late, so I'm gonna be real with y'all. All right, cool. So let me bring on my first panelist, who's always a wonderful, wonderful guest around here. You know her to be the general, okay, the contrarian at points. All right, the commander of the ship, okay. What she says goes, okay? She's going to give a different perspective, okay? She's going to do things differently and give you a darker side of the tale. Now, this could be end of the 2 because both of these people here give the darker side of the tale. Listen, they're on the dark side of the moon like Transformers, okay? All right? Don't play with them now, all right? But I want to first introduce my wonderful, illustrious, beautiful, you know, intelligent, you know, amazing, ostentatious, out of this world guest to the panel. Elsid, welcome, baby. Is Mr. Elsid there? Because I called you beautiful, and if I don't want him coming up my neck.
I gotta watch out because I've been talking about the hoochie daddy shorts, so I need. You
have been a lot.
Yeah.
You need to
sorry. I know, but he looked good. I've got to admire the Lord's blessing, and I don't want him to feel slighted that I do not acknowledge it. So yeah, he's I'm sure looking at it in another room. So we both gonna be in trouble tonight. Okay.
I love that. Shout out to Mr. Elston as well. We appreciate him. Our next guest, wonderful, amazing, talented. Okay, beautiful. All right, always gives a very eclectic, empathetic response when it comes to these TV shows. Tries to understand the root causes of why people are the way that they are. Okay, a wonderful toned voice as well. Somebody who has energy and passion about what she talks about. You already know who she is. You're gonna be drunk and intoxicated on her work. So I want to bring her to the panel. It is another round, baby. Yeah.
Hello.
What you telling me?
Doing? Let me know if I got an echo. I'm just making sure I don't have one. Otherwise, I'll try to switch to my headphones.
No, you're good, babe. You're good.
Okay.
You're all right. We're glad
How's
to
everybody
have you
doing this evening?
Oh, we doing good. How's he doing?
Oh, we doing good. We doing good. We got our radio voice on right now, and we just gonna keep it going. All right, y'all.
I definitely hear you. Copacetic, as they would say. I appreciate you. I know the rest of the gang will join in a few minutes' time. But listen, we're going to start strong. We're going to start early. We're going to start quick. You know what I'm saying to you? You see, I have to start leading appropriately. Yes, because you see, I've been letting everyone get away with murder because I've been getting myself away with murder. But if I'm on time, they have to start being on time. But if I'm not on time, I can't talk about nobody else. So we're going to start on time. All right, let's get straight to the first couple. Okay, yes, Elle said, yes, look at me because I'm a changed man now. You see this haircut? It's got me feeling different. You know what I'm saying to you? Man went past the forehead, so we're going to have to go past what we're doing right now.
So you got clarity. He cleared up a line. You got clarity.
He cleared the forehead. He cleared past the temple area and went straight to the other side. I'm still disappointed. I looked at it and I said, you know what, frick it. We're going to have to deal with it. But let's talk about these couples because I think it was an interesting episode. But let me get your overall thoughts first and foremost. El said, what was your overall thoughts on this particular episode? How did you see it? What are the things that were sticking out to you?
I like this episode because we got a sense of like two, individual dates that kind of showed us another level to these couples. And we got the friction that I like. I like, I used to be true a little bit, just a tad. So I like that pull and tug and, give the wrong number. Did you really call me? So I like the friction with True and Mr. Got 5 Babies, as she calls him.
I love that. Yeah, she definitely called him out for his 5 + 3 = 8 festivities at his home. Another round. What was your I guess what was one of the key points on the show that you noticed that you feel like you'd love to just add from your perspective?
Well, I love the authenticity. I'm not going to be able to say. I've been trying to practice it back here in the background, how to say authenticness of the cast. It doesn't want to roll off today. I'm sorry. I love the raw realness of them. I love that they breaking stereotypes of Black people don't get in the water. You know what I'm saying? Especially fully clothed or whatnot. I enjoyed a lot of the cast this week. I know a lot more people still need to step it up. Cisco, we gotta get something from you, baby. I haven't seen nothing yet. Cam, I like you breaking out. COLEY, I like you breaking out, but we still need more from you all. So, as we continue to warm up, I need them to give us more, and Sahara, give us less, okay?
Love that perspective. We're going to get one of my other panelists on the show. You know who they are, okay? All right? They're wearing their monk hoodie today, okay? And they are ready to put the show to the sword, even though monks aren't allowed to do that. But listen, he is a wonderful individual, okay? Our fellow deacon, a man that is of the Lord, okay? When he speaks, it's as if heaven is speaking. A true prophet of his generation. Yes, the beard is carrying John the Baptist, indeed, the energy that he's got there. Out in the wilderness, speaking up against the patriarchy and also, as well, the other words that he's added into the particular aspect of his work at this moment. He is truly a pioneer at this stage. At this point, we cannot lace his sandals. He has gone and surpassed us all. Listen, the wonderful, the illustrious, the beautiful, the handsome, yeah, the delectable, honorable Mr. Sean Davis, Deacon.
The delectable Deacon. How you doing this evening?
Nah, Jay, you delectable in that profile pic now. Watch out now.
She can't even hear us. She done muted herself. Woo. How you
What's
doing,
going on, everybody?
We're going good, Captain. We're going good. We're doing very, really well. We're doing really, really well, sir. We just want to get your thoughts. What was a key part of the show for you? Watching the show today, watching the episode, what was a key part of the episode?
I think we are starting to get to the meat of the matter, So I like, I like the elimination, because I think we get to see people pass their masks because, so often in Ready to Love, people, we're meeting people's representative. And I think sometimes when people are in the bottom 2 or 3, we get to see who they really are. And I think we got to see who some folks really, really are in this episode. So I'm looking forward to diving into that amongst, some other some prison bay moments. I think that was quite interesting too.
I definitely hear that as well. Definitely hear that. You telling some truth about the prison bay. You know what I mean? We definitely can't. I can't wait to discuss that part because that part was Very, very funny indeed. You know what I'm saying too. Okay, listen, let's get into it. Let's get into it because you know what? It's Prison Bay I want to start with. I'm going to start backwards. I'm starting in the middle somewhere. I want to talk about Prison Bay. Okay, so this is Prison Bay here. Kiara and Jay. If you don't remember, guys, I will take this off the screen in a few seconds. But we're going to talk about them as well because I think it's a really important part to discuss. When it comes to relationships, when these are real issues that actually happen in relationships, where there is maybe a particular partner who is maybe, locked up, and is away. And how do you handle such moments as well in this relationship? So we'll play a little bit of a clip just to remind you guys of what actually happened and what we are actually talking about as well. So let me get that clip for you guys so you're just reminded. Here we go.
Like you couldn't do it on your own.
Ooh.
So I kind of did it for you. My children's father, he is currently incarcerated. He will be coming home soon, but right now it is just me taking care of the kids. It's been 6 years.
Okay. Oh damn! I done put you onto my my chat GTP. Here's me doing all my work in there. Don't let me expose my workbook that I've been working on for you guys. I don't know, tell you about everything early. But what about Kiara and Jay? And when it comes to Prison Bay, I want to understand your thoughts on this because she obviously let us know that for 6 years she has been, working on herself. Her partner's been away. He's been in jail. They're not together, etc., etc. All of the lovely jazz that she spoke about. But I want to get your perspective on this because this is obviously a very tricky place to be for Kiara. I was judging her earlier on. Because I was like, damn, you were the Prison Bay. Okay. But obviously I was talking from a perspective of another man coming into that space. So I want to get your thoughts on this aspect. Maybe Sean, you can start us off, in this aspect, What was your thoughts from a man's perspective? When you heard those words, how did you feel about it? She said he's coming home soon. What was your thoughts when you heard that?
Well, I'll start with the positive. I'm just very glad that she told us. I'm so glad she was forthright with that information because I would hate to be invested and find out much later in the line. If there was every flag, it was the United Nations of red flags because ain't no way. I'm sorry. Ain't no way. She said a couple of things. First of all, he's a professional boxer. 2, he's been in prison for quite some time. 3, something was going on in that relationship. Was he cheating? I don't know. Whatever, however they ended. I don't know if he left her or she left him, but he ain't done. And the most important part is he's coming home soon. Thank you. That's all I need to know. I'm going to just put on my shoes and go. We ain't got to talk. Ain't nothing else to talk about. I mean, y'all could put an infinity of red flags onto Eva. An infinity of red flags because, I ain't fitting to lose my life trying to date you, baby girl. So I just appreciate her so much for letting us know. And, if Jay seems like Jay is in her top, if he's, he's ready to go blow for blow, more power to him. I'd be backing right on out, moonwalking right out of that situation.
Thank you, Sean, for starting off strong. Sid, what's your thoughts on this? As from a lady's perspective, this situation, she's she didn't want the man to go to prison. She wasn't the one that told him to go to prison, but you know what I'm saying? It can't directly be her fault, but she is in a predicament where her partner is coming home from the prisons. You know what I'm saying? What's your thoughts about this? You heard he's coming home soon. What did your mind run to? We know it's dark, so take us down that dark alley.
Why are you making it sound like the Erykah Badu song?
Because it's deep.
Like he just went away. He trying to make ends meet for the family. No. It's before that for me with her when she said she couldn't kind of get him out of her system. He had to be locked up for her to be done with him. I'm like, girl. So when he's released is really the test. Can she keep away from him? Because what she's saying is like, the law has got to keep her away from my man. And what is a co-parenting situation going to look like when he comes out of jail? Because she's been with him since she was a teenager, she said. So I don't think she's quite ready to love right now. She could do a whole lot of work, but the true test is when he's released and he's back out in the wild, is she going to truly be free of him? Because it doesn't sound like this. It really doesn't. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere around in a relationship with her until that is kind of squared away.
I definitely hear that. Jay, what's your thoughts on this? Prison Bay, he's coming out soon. You know, old girl said that she is a my man type of girl too. So, what was your thoughts when you heard her explain her story and her situation as well?
Is that situation is not done. She still talks like it's presently going on. And when you sit there and say it's just been me, for now, it's like that's what you're basically saying. Just for now, it's just been me. 6 years, he's on his way back out soon. Why are we wasting these men's time? You're wasting these men's time. So what are you trying to have, like somebody spoil you real quick until he gets home or something? Or are you trying to have a black version of stepdaddy? You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have two men in the house parenting your children or something? Because I don't understand what's happening. You're still involved with this man. Like Elsa said, prison actually didn't stop you from still being with him or still talking to him. It's not going to stop you. You guys have kids together. So therefore, he's going to be within your life. But it doesn't sound like you actually cut him out. Prison just kept you away from smashing on a regular. That's all. That's all it did. So when he gets home, is that going to return to normal? Is he going to be staying with you when he's on his PO? Like, what's happening? There's a lot to still be discussed. So if JJ wants to continue to pursue this, I don't, he didn't know at the time, but I'm pretty sure by the time the men's lounge kicked in, he should have heard. So I'm curious to see how he's going to handle it going forth. But, some of the men has already checked out. Fritz is clear like, you can count me out of the running for you, as he should. Because right now you still are talking in the present with this relationship. So there's that. And then on top of it, again, he's not going nowhere. He's the father of your children. So if he hasn't quit you, how does that work? So I don't know. Her man is coming home soon, and that's who she should be preparing for.
Thank you very much, Jay. And before, obviously, I let the person speak, let me introduce them properly, because I thought to do an introduction before I brought them up. So you know this person very, very well. There's only one way, not two ways, not three ways. There's only a C way. Let me tell you this now. She is the Honorable, the Queen, all right, of the castle. When she speaks, we all listen, all right? When she puts a speech up, the kingdom, okay, or the queendom is ready to hear the words of royalty. We appreciate her. True bloodline of royalty and pure-blooded. We appreciate the power that she carries. She's always ministering to the people, delivering a word on time. Listen, if there's one thing she's gonna be, is right. We appreciate Seaway. Seaway, what is your thoughts on this situation with Kiara? Kiara said that she's got her man coming out of prison. Okay, all right. It was given a particular TV show, but I won't say it. I want to know what your thoughts are on this situation.
They said you done promoted me to the honorable. I received that promotion. I mean, y'all said it. All I can say is I clocked the issue with Miss Kiara from her boobs being at her chin and that body con. You guys, some of y'all call me judgmental. The ones that already know that I be knowing didn't. The team Seaway, the ones who rock with Seaway, y'all don't question it, but some of y'all questioned it when I had a comment about that body con and her titties being at her chin. I clocked it then, and it seems like we're, that all I needed to know was what she gave me with that outfit, and things have not changed since. Honestly, what she's doing, and I will say I'm glad that she did disclose. Disclosure is key, and I want to compliment her for the disclosure. But behavior like this is honestly what gets people unalived. Behavior like this is what gets a new unassuming man in a world of trouble. I don't know what his charges were, but if he did if Philly is anything like Chicago and Cook County, for you to get 6+ years, you really had to do something. Philly people can check in, but I know in Cook County, for you to get any type of major time, you really had to do something. So I don't know what he did, but I'm going to assume that it's some type of dangerous situation. And so it's very key not to involve somebody else's son in that mess. And then like what Sid said, I think what Jay said, the fact that the only reason why they really aren't communicating is because he went to jail means that like up until the point where he was doing whatever he did to go to jail, you was cool with it and you was rocking with it, and it is what it is. A nice young man should have nothing to do with her. Nothing to do with her. And it's actually very, very serious. Like, you can't be messing. Y'all see these sad stories where people be getting out of jail, pulling up to people's houses and doing all this type of stuff. That no. I was listening and I was like, why are you on the show? Very scary, very troubling. Very troubling. So I hope they stood away, because to me, birds of a feather flock together, and all these quote unquote good girls who love to be with people going to jail, they're hardly any different than the ones that are going to jail, in my opinion. If he's doing the crime and the time, so are you. You, your 2 kids, and that baby daddy, all y'all doing the time. You don't need to be dating not nobody. That's what I have to say about it.
Damn, I hear it. No, listen, I hear it. I definitely actually hear it, because I think when I heard it, I was like, ooh, you know, like it's a very tricky situation to come into, because look, he may be a decent guy. He generally may be a decent guy. You know what I'm saying to you? But in more, obviously, you don't want to take a risk. You know what I'm saying to you? First and foremost, stepping into a stepdad role is always going to be a little bit tricky, depending on how the father is originally. But if then that person's also gone to prison too, it's also very tricky as well. You know, I think it can be very. It's very. You just got. It's a very difficult thing to navigate, I think. You know what I'm saying to you? Because he's always going to have a tie to her. And that's the sad thing. Sad, but obviously, of course, children are not sad, but it's sad that the tie is going to always be there. So he's always going to have some level of access, which makes it much more difficult and trickier for her to date. So I guess, I don't know, I'm asking the question, what does she do then? What does she do in this situation then? You know what I mean?
She needs to wait for him to come out. She has to wait for him to come out. And unfortunately, with men, she's going to have to really assess the scene. It's actually easier if he comes out, finds a new family, makes a new family. I hate to bring another child into this mess. Then I think it's safe. But as long as he believes that she belongs to her, and it's very tricky, personally. So I think that he needs to like get out, get settled, establish how they're going to co-parent without another person involved. And then hopefully he can move on, and then she can move on. Now, I hate that she has to wait, but to me, that's the safest thing for everybody. That's what I would need if I was a man entering into this situation.
I won't necessarily say that she needs to wait, but there needs to be actual boundaries, firm, set, clear-cut boundaries that this is done. And all we have is a co-parenting situation. And like I say, it's not sounding like that's where it's at with none of her speech. So therefore, then I'll take it back to what Seaway said. She might as well just wait till it come out so they can have that actual talk and set whatever rules, boundaries, or establish their relationship back, or whatever the case may be. But right now, because it doesn't sound like she has it set that we're actually done, or we was done before you even went in, that's what needs to be in place. And so she just needs to go ahead and like Seaway said, let him come out, figure out if that's where you want to be. And if so, then go ahead and be that. If not, then move accordingly. Then y'all get stuff situated and figure out how y'all co-parenting is going to look then.
Any advice, Sean, on this perspective?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm a risk reward kind of guy, and the risk ain't worth the reward. So I don't care what kind of situation they got. I don't care how good their co-parenting is, because she could be thinking one thing and he could be thinking another. It's too many risks and not enough rewards. Thank you. And there could be a lid for her pot. So I'm not trying to say no one should date her, but it won't be me under no circumstances.
And maybe a dude like NAEEM, who's also seems like he's flirting with some level of the edges of society. Perhaps that type of stuff is okay with him. You know what I mean? So if you're already flirting on the edge of society and this is not a big deal for you, then, you know, fine. But I hope a stand-up guy who, you know, is not in that life or anything remotely to that life at all is staying away. Because to Sean's point, there is somebody who's willing to take that risk. Because NAEEM, his response was, not that the man is in jail, but she's a single mom. That's a strong woman. Okay.
I got a soft spot for them single moms.
Soft spot for her. Okay, NAEEM. That sounds like she may be your queen. You take the risk. But
and it shows that she's loyal.
Right. So NAEEM looked like, you know, he already on the edge of society. What's one more thing to push him off of it? Not a big deal. But for everybody else, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
They love your edges of society.
Oh, he's on the corners of it. He's on a few corners of it. He got 5 kids, 3 broken homes. Why not add a baby mama or a girlfriend with a dude in jail? That fits. That fits. So for NAEEM, perfect. Everybody else?
I love that term. I think that's a great term to definitely use from now on. That certain people are on the edges of society. It's a very polite way. You see, I told you, that's why I called you honourable. A very polite way of talking about the peasants. Now, let's talk about some other situations.
Not the peasants.
That's what she really wanted to say. I just wanted to translate for our Royal Highness here. Any other thoughts on Kiara situation? I put Kiara and Jay, but actually it's just Kiara. I mean, well, actually, what would be your advice then to Jay? Because Jay's he's a single father too, right? He seems to be well-rounded from what we can see for now. But I would love to know your perspective, like for Jay entering a situation with Kiara, because he does like Kiara and it seems like they're getting deep. What would be your advice or your thoughts then for Jay in this situation then? I know in general we said about men, but what would be your advice for Jay in this situation?
Stay in the shallow end of the pool. Don't get deep.
Damn.
If you go, because people gonna do what they gonna do. That's why I was just saying, if you're gonna do it, just stay on the shallow end of the pool.
But isn't Jay kind of flirting with Miss Head in the Clouds too? Because I think Jay seems like he's peeping what we're putting down already, because he was all into Kiara, and then I don't know if they've been having more conversations and he's figuring out a little bit more. Because Jay also seems like he's a little hood. He got a little hood to him, but he seems like he's the type of hood that don't want no problems, which is, you know what I mean? Like there's like hood, but like I ain't causing nobody no problems. That seems like that's Jay, and he also doesn't need to be with Miss Kiara, and you know he could be with somebody like Rocky, like reformed hood if he want, or I think she's reformed.
Rehabilitated hood.
Rehabilitated hood. He could be with like rehabilitated hood, but not Kiara. She got too much to her. Way too much to her.
Just by the way,
I gotta know Jay's history, because I gotta know Jay's history. He may be able to handle it, or he may be backpedaling. Which, you know, technically, if I was him, I would totally backpedal and look and see what other options are available, and keep it cool with COLEY, because that right there, it was kind of telling. I mean, nobody wants to take on that.
She's such a cute girl, so she's gonna get a look. You know, people they're gonna assess the scene with her, but.
Well, maybe if he comes out of the penitentiary on probation, maybe he'll act right. Maybe. But if he coming out untethered,
we need to know what he went in there for.
Right. If he comes out completely untethered, I'll have a problem.
One, why did he go in? And 2, what was the nature of their relationship when he went in? And 3, when did this whole "it's all about the kids" thing start? In prison or before prison? I don't know. And where he's staying for his house arrest or parole? Where he going? I got questions.
Too many questions.
That's a very good question. That's a very good question. Next, he was saying he's homeless. but we'll leave that behind. Okay, because I don't want him finding me in my PO box.
Well,
All right, listen.
Are we talking about Are we talking about Mr. This Ain't My Home? Is that who we talking about now?
No, I hadn't even thought about that person. You dangerous, Elson. Let's move to the next one. Since we are already talking about Jay, we're going to talk about obviously Jay and COLEY's date, because it was decent. You know what I'm saying to you? And maybe you're right. Maybe Jay has peeped game, with Kiara and decided to expand his business ventures. Okay, and he expanded his territory to COLEY and said that she's quite cool, she's quite chill. She's got a nice little vibe about her. He seemed to really get along with her. So I'll play a little clip so you guys can have a watch as well. Okay.
Things that I learned about you.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming into this process, like dating a man who had kids was not anything that I ever considered. But now
Okay. She's looking very beautiful there, can't lie to you at all. Looking very beautiful there. I want to get you guys' thoughts, obviously, on COLEY and Jay's relationship. How did you guys see it? How did you guys feel about the date that they had? There was on golfing. She said that, golfing is really one of her favorite stuff. She pretty much got a hole in one at one point as well. So they seem to be getting along. Body language seemed to be positive, I think, as well. So I want to get you guys' thoughts. What did you think about the date with Jay and COLEY? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's something that could actually flourish? How did you see each of them as well? What was your thoughts on this? I'd love to know your thoughts. Okay, don't all go silent on me at once. The Royal Courts Guard.
Okay,
yes,
so she looked very lovely, as did he. She said something about the men with kids, are on a different level. They're more caring. So I'm wondering if she would rephrase that. Is it that they have kids, or are they taking care of their kids? They got custody of their kids. But I could understand where she's talking about that. But them caring for their kids and caring for a significant other are two different things. So I need her to kind of like drill down on that a bit. But it was a lovely date. I'm a little, pessimistic. It's like, don't tell me you have a surprise for me and it's ice cream and fruit. Okay, that's not a surprise. So that was kind of low hanging fruit for me. You could do better, Jay. My hopes are hanging on your cornrows, Jay. So please don't disappoint me. But she looked cute. I love her Converse. I peeped her Converse, and they had a good date. I'm hoping that Jay finds someone else besides Kiara and COLEY, that we see a connection.
That was some good first dates for friends. I'll say that much, because I don't really see it going too deep. But it was good that COLEY can open up a little bit more, especially with somebody that she doesn't have I don't feel like there's like a physical interest or anything going back and forth there between really the both of them. So it's nice to see her being able to open up to somebody, period, and just be a little bit different from what we have seen already. So for that part, it was great. It was wonderful. And it's for Jay's part, it's just good to see that he didn't put everything into Kiara. He's keeping a bit open, and he's actually giving people time that he probably would have never considered, because he said that he just looked at her as a spoiled princess from, a rich princess from a different family. So in the usual world, he probably would have never gave her time, but that might actually help him in the real world find his person by opening up to not just reading people on the outside and perceiving that they're one way or whatever. So, this might be a good experience for him going forth in life and dating.
Yeah, I thought that conversation was going well. I think, COLEY was starting to grow on me a little bit. She was, opening up, having good conversations just in general. The only way, unless it was a clip of a longer conversation, I didn't like how Jay threw in there, how important is sex to you? I just thought that was ill-placed, a little early in first meeting somebody. Again, I know this is speed dating, but still, I just felt like it was just a little, I didn't like how it landed in the conversation. And but I like how she answered the question. You know, she set the record straight, you know, pretty much saying she's not into the, you know, the casual sex of it all. So you know, that's my little feedback.
Yeah,
See,
I'm
wait.
struggling to I'm struggling to remember a whole lot of their date. I just remember thinking that, oh, it's nice that they're communicating, because I was hoping that he was going to find somebody else to talk to outside of Miss Mama's with the jailbird baby daddy. So I was really hoping that he was going to find somebody, and I was surprised that they seemed to be hitting it off pretty well. I am unsure about the chemistry just yet, but I think Jay's kind of like warmth, and I don't know, he just seems like a pretty good guy. I think he's kind of like standing out amongst the rest of the guys as a little bit of a surprise kind of candidate, because he just seems to be a standout guy that's there for the right reasons. And unfortunately, you don't really see that a lot with men who come on these shows. And so I think Jay is going to have a lot of suitors, because he seems to be really in it for the right reasons thus far. I hope he doesn't make me take that back, but as of right now, he appears to be in it for the right reasons. And so I think a lot of the women are going to gravitate towards him, and probably the bald man, I'm forgetting his name, the firefighter, but he got that, you know, Jesus issue, you know, his issue with the Lord. So that's going to be an issue. But yeah, he definitely seems to be in it for the right reasons. So.
Love that. Any other thoughts on Jay and COLEY before we switch it? I don't want to keep it nice and short for them. I know there's not much that was going on. No? Alright, cool. We're going to switch it around. First of all, I just want to just say welcome to Diana, who's also a member now as well. Shout out to you. We appreciate you. Welcome to the team. Much love. Linda V, come on now. We appreciate this. When people are willing to share and to help others as well, we got to appreciate you. You know what I mean?
Is a U.S. the new king?
We appreciate you sharing and sending out 5 gifts as well to those who are in the chat. We're about to go members only actually now. So for those of you who are not a member, I'm seeing a lot of white names, and I don't mean that about any ethnicity or race. I mean that literally as your name is in the chat, it's white. It means you haven't got membership. I would advise you to get membership now, because we're about to go to members only in the chat, meaning you cannot say anything in that chat. So you'll be watching us from the outside, as I said. Listen, it's £1, it's $1. I've made it really, really cheap so you guys can enjoy the fun and festivities of the Mineral Gang family. Okay, all right? Yes, Melanie the broker. I see you. You're not broke in Jesus' name, amen. So get that card out. Swipe. Okay? Yeah, no, really, swipe. All right, cool. Let's get to that next couple. It's got to be members only. Let's get to that next couple, because you know there was a lot that was going on in this particular episode, so we got to get through them. Here we go. The next couple we got is obviously Fritz and COLEY. They had a conversation, so we're gonna go to them. Fritz and COLEY, if you remember them, these lot here again, hypervigilance. That's what I said here, and she was telling about the poly life. So I'm gonna get a clip for you guys, so you can actually see what actually happened between the two of them. Let me just find that clip for you. There we go. Here we go. I mean, I love COLEY, but she was dressed a little bit like 12 Years a Slave in that, with that top. Just a little bit. But I love her. She's very beautiful. All right, cool.
I looked at your like Instagram, and I saw you were following hashtags about like poly life. And like me personally, I'm looking for a monogamous relationship.
Felt weird knowing that Fritz is following.
All right, so she did an investigation on his Instagram and realized that actually he is following, those hashtags, poly hashtags, and potentially he could be about the poly life, but she's looking for it to be more monogamous. Does she have a point here? Are hashtags really something that you should look at to judge somebody on based on what they're wanting in terms of a relationship? Yes, Siwa and Elsa both open. Well, since
I just have a clarifying question, and then Elsa can go. Maybe I'm showing my age here, but how do you check what hashtags people are following on Instagram?
I didn't even know.
Is that a common thing to do?
Yeah, you can check. You can search. You can go through when they put something up. You see the hashtags in their postings, but you can check it.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't even know that. Go ahead, Elsit.
I didn't even know that. That's something I didn't even know.
Yeah. And you can see how often it's that hashtag is used. But anyway, that's for a deeper dive. That's for a members live. She seems to be like she's going to go through your social media. She's going to unlock your phone and do a deep dive when you sleep. I'm sorry. I understand what she's going at. Just because he follows it doesn't necessarily mean that's what he wants. But you can't ask. She more ask of, I saw that, you're doing this. Could we just ask him? Could we just see if that's what he wants? Because I'm sorry to her. If she searched my hashtags that's on there, that doesn't mean that's the lifestyle I ever want. I'm just curious as to how do these people manage all this foolishness? So again, could she just ask him and figure it out and see? That doesn't necessarily mean that encapsulates who the man is. So that's the part I didn't like with what she was going for. I understand, but you can ask him. Say, hey, I saw that you were curious about that. But then that also tells the man you're digging, you're searching. So he's got to wonder, like, what else are you looking for? So while I appreciate the sentiment, you should always do your due diligence. The thing is, you get a lot more with honey than vinegar. So ask him nicely, and he'll certainly share everything at the pool party house that's not his own.
Definitely hear that. Yes, Jay, go for it.
It's just wild to me that you want a monogamous relationship while you're on the show dating 10 men right now. So it's like crazy to me, but do your thing, sis. Do your thing. Listen, if it makes you feel good to do your research, do your research. But when you're doing your follow-up, like Elle said, you should have some tact, some decorum, since that's the word they like to use up in here, on how you gonna approach the situation, because the way she kind of approached it makes it accusatory. So even if you wanted the truth, he's not gonna give it to you, not the way you asked that question. So I think you just have to be a little bit more tactful and sly in how you're going to ask a question on after you got the information that you wanted. Like, you can't sit here and just be like, I went through your phone, who is Christy? Like, you giving me room to lie. So she needs to be a little bit more tactful in her investigation of it all, but it's given that I done went through some people's stuff before, and I done asked these type of questions before or whatever. So good luck in the relationship with COLEY, because you fall asleep, she's in your phone.
Definitely hear that. Black's good to have you on board, bro. What is your thoughts here, my guy?
Yeah, first of all, let me see. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah, you do your research in the shadows. You don't bring it to the forefront. Like if you're doing research and trying to find out a little bit more about me, okay, do your due diligence, but at the same time, you don't come out and say anything unless it's something bigger than what that was. Like that's something you find out and you realize, hey, you're not my speed. And when he asked her, okay, I just want to know, are you interested or not? She could have just said, I'm not interested. But taking a deep dive into what he's into, the good that came out of it is that he got a chance to actually say, this is not what I'm about. This is just me just looking into it. It could have been enough for her to have a red flag, but it was never, at least we didn't see an apology or a misunderstanding. Say, okay, it was a misunderstanding. Okay, sorry about that. But she kind of wanted to stay on the subject a little bit to see, if he was going to fold in that area as far as like, is it for research or is it something that you're into? If he's interested in it, I mean, people research things all the time. Like he did make a good point. I look at food. I'm not a chef. I look at this, I'm not that. But with something like the poly life, you research it or you're into it, you wouldn't look at a lot of content about it. If you're interested in it or you just want to know a little bit about it, that's one thing. But if you have continuous feeds of you going into different types of those type of activities going on, then it pretty much points to the finger at you that, hey, this is what you're doing. So for me, I think that that's something that I think COLEY, I get people do that. I mean, people do it and they don't talk about it. But I think for her, in the way the show is built and everything, I didn't think that was something to bring out. But who knows? Maybe the producers asked her to do it. I don't know. But I would have just kept that a little bit to myself.
Yeah, I would say that like Black is saying, two things can be true at the same time. COLEY's way of getting the information was not recommended, in my opinion, but also Fritz could be a bold-faced liar. For me, I don't, again, Elsa would probably teach me how to figure out like the hashtag followings. I've never even heard of that. But I'm pretty sure if he's looking up a whole bunch of poly stuff, it's just such a unique area. He's at least interested in it, whether he's doing it or not. But I think COLEY seems like she's from the book of like women who don't know how to communicate with men, kind of from like the book. Like you don't really get a lot of information from men interrogation style. I tell my friends and people all the time, the best way to get information from men is to let them talk. Ask them questions without seeming like you're interrogating. You will get so much information from men because they're gonna be like, you cool. Most of these women ain't cool, and they'll get to talking. They're gonna get to telling on themselves, and you're gonna get all the tea that you want. And that's how you get the tea. People like people like COLEY, you're not gonna get the truth because you came in with I was on your Instagram and I did it. You're not gonna get the truth. Now he's already lying. Now if she would have asked him a couple of questions, buttered him up, was talking, trying to let him tell him about the lifestyle, she would have had everything that she needed to know. So now we're not going to know the truth at all because now he's on alert that people are looking at his Instagram, his hashtags, his whatever. And so you ain't going to know. I think he's lying though, but you know, you're not going to know.
She should have treated him like Virginia did Devin and that, that prenup. Just talk to him real nice and gentle. So what do you think about monogamy? What are your thoughts about monogamy? I'm just curious.
No, Sean, you do it a little bit backwards, Sean. You'd be like, hey, so how you feel about two women being together? You like that? See, that's how you really get them.
Because in times like today, I thought that we were going to be past women's rights to choose, but I just can't believe we're past, right? Oh wait, how do you feel? Are we're gonna vote together? We're gonna vote the same way, right, babe? Or we're not?
How do you feel about same-sex marriages? Are you okay with that? Are you good? Like,
I love your temporary home. This is beautiful.
Beautiful. Virginia can write a book, okay? Virginia gonna get to the bottom of information and not look. She gonna get to the bottom of it. Needs to go to the school of Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia University. A lot.
Virginia University, okay? Period.
Yes. Any other thoughts on the COLEY and Fritz situation as well?
Yeah, I just say he into poly. I don't care. She did go about it the wrong way, so I can definitely contend with that. But he into poly because once you get to following people and it's in your mentions, that means it's something you don't mind seeing every single day. Every time you go on social media, it's going to constantly flood your timeline. So, maybe you haven't gone all the way there, but you would like to, and you got some unconventional ideas. So I certainly believe that, he's more than just, it's like he's following a chef. That was a good though. I got to give him, that was a perfect response. Yeah, I follow chefs, but I don't cook. Okay. All right.
This man said he followed NASA and he ain't been to space. I said,
and he ain't been to space.
That was cold.
I said, you ate that up. That up. I fear you ate.
That is elite level gaslighting. So when you get that, I can't even be mad at him. That's how you do it. But trust and believe. He's, like Jay said on her live, he's polycurious for sure. So watch out now.
And that's because her question led him back against the wall, and he know how to maneuver up out of it. See, he might be okay in a poly relationship. He halfway there. You know what I'm saying? Let that man breathe.
What she should have done is looked at some of those poly shows and talked to him about it. Say, pass the hashtag. Did you watch, Seeking Sister Wife? What What are your thoughts?
That's one of my favorite shows. How do you feel about that show?
Damn, I actually thought you meant that, C-Way. I was about to say, tell us about it, but you actually was
Oh, actually,
and then
playing.
no, it really is.
and then
Actually,
see what flip
Oh,
it.
okay.
but that's
Flip
what I
it too,
would
because then
have
be
said.
like, I wouldn't mind having 2 husbands and see what he say on that one. Since you want to be in poly, you know what I'm saying? I'll do 2 husbands. Hmm.
We can be curious together.
This is how I know you lot are elite gaslighters. It shows. It shows. It shows. Y'all have outed yourself. And you
This is
see
not
what they said?
It's not
Allow them to talk
gaslighting.
themselves.
Gaslighting.
You're right. It's not even gaslighting. Sorry. It's manipulation.
It's
of the
called a
highest
high degree of communication.
level. That's what they call it when it's manipulation. They call it that word too.
It's called good
called
cop,
BT
bad cop,
Telecoms.
elite investigations. Okay, this is how you get the information. This is how Seaway is telling y'all to get the information.
Right, and I'm telling you from people who are not going to do no digging. I don't go through phones. I don't search hashtags. I'm not doing no research. I'm not going to pull a Simone. Shout out to Simone. I'm not pulling your background check. Unless I feel like I really, really need to, but I'm going to just talk to you. People going to tell you everything that you need to know. And if they're being invasive and you can't get no answer out of them, then that's your answer. You know, like when someone's just giving you no answers, they like, what's old girl who wouldn't tell us if she was 35 or 45 today? If you doing if you doing all of that, I'm gonna assume you're 45 and I'm done talking to you. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's it.
Maybe even 55.
Or maybe 55. Because if you 35 on a show with people 30 to 50, it don't take all of that. Just answer the question.
What did she say? Grown mid? That's 50.
On a show of people who are 30 to 50. So we know you're between the ages of 30 and 50. And if you're allegedly on the younger end, what are we playing about? We can get to that, but.
All right. Any last thoughts on this couple? I say couple, but these two. No. We fully flushed out the poly. Okay, fantastic. All right, so the next one we're gonna get to, and let's talk about another particular couple as well, or next two as well. Well, actually, we had it's gone out of my head now. Eddie and Angie, that was it. Eddie and Angie, they had a little bit of a conversation about partnership, and I want to get your thoughts on that because obviously, COLEY was actually at the grill as well, actually earlier on as well. So, I don't know if there was another conversation, but they didn't show it to us in terms of Eddie and COLEY, but it was Eddie and Angie who were talking about partnerships. So I'll just play a little bit of a clip for you guys just to remind you as well.
That's important to me.
Eddie, oh my God. I'm happy our connection is growing because I'm feeling the same way about him as well. It's really nice to have that confirmation and reassurance.
Every time I see you, I'm like, oh my God, we gotta do this again. We gotta do this again.
That nigga's lying. Sorry, the mic should have been closed. Eddie and Angie, I want to get your thoughts. Is this a believable? You know what? I'm judging by looks. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am. Also, his body language was a little bit too slouched for me. But I want to get your perspective because maybe I started thinking 9 years of gap. I started thinking mummy wound maybe that I'm not really aware of, or But hey, he may like older women, so let me not say anything about that. There are men that like older women, and there's nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't shame them. We just need to understand them. What's your thoughts on the Eddie and Ange partnership conversation? And what's your thoughts on their chemistry and their seemingly connection, as they say as well? Do you believe in the connection? Do you believe in the thoughts gonna love?
Look, I'm not gonna pretend like I remember this conversation, so I'm just gonna get this off the bat. I don't remember, and I actually watched it again today, and I still don't remember. So I don't know what that tells you, but I do remember them speaking. What they said unclear, but Eddie just reminds me of a person that is. I don't know what Eddie is here for. I'll say this. I don't know what Eddie is here for, but Angie looks like she's going to provide things, lots of different things. And so depending on what Eddie is interested in, he may be actually taking this seriously, Kojo. You know that grown woman that, that's...
Let me spill my drink.
The grown woman that's going to be a grown woman to you? That's what Angie gives. And Angie looks like,
She's going to spoil him a little bit. I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And so I'm not a man, right? But I'm just trying to like hop into what I feel like I would think if I was a man. And if I'm interested in a little MILF action, I may be into Angie. So that's what I'll say.
Definitely understand that. Yes, less black.
You know, what's interesting is how certain people's interactions with other people can be completely different than how the interactions is with someone else. What I forgot his name already. What Eddie, there we go. What Eddie is looking at, what he sees in Angie, he doesn't see the other conversations that Angie has. She didn't see the conversation she had with, I'm sorry, I'm just bad with these names, but the gentleman she was talking to him about how to pursue her. Now, I don't think a woman should ever, Wayne, for me, I don't think a woman should ever have to show a man how to pursue her. If he's into you, he's into you, right? But if Eddie saw that, that may have been a turnoff for him. But the things that they don't see in interactions with other people, that, you know, that's what I'm kind of noticing. People are falling for other people and they don't know the other backstory, the interactions with other people. Like there were some people that like True, but they didn't have the interaction that they have CALIL, you know, about age and everything like that. They didn't hear those things. So for me, I don't buy it. I'm with you, Gojo. And when it comes to just the optics, it just doesn't seem like I buy it. But I can also, there is a other side of the coin where I can see Eddie always attracting maybe the beautiful women, the pretty women or whatever. Not to say that Angie is not pretty, but what it is that once you are accustomed to a certain type and it's not working for you, you're going to try something different, right? You're going to try something different, because anyone looking at the couples, you will probably put Eddie with COLEY, you know, because they make a nice looking couple. But Eddie with Angie would be something that from us on the outside look at, you know, that's cool, but it's not something that I can really, I would point them out from the first jump. So to me, I think it's kind of hard to believe right now because they didn't really show that they know much about each other, but that's going to be later seen, I believe. But right now, they're just going off that first interaction, which was a good one for them. But at the same time, there's still more to be seen with them.
You just want somebody to jump in, or you just gonna be there quietly?
You know what? I'm gonna take NAEEM's level here. You want to ask questions that you should be answering yourself?
Okay.
I'm joking.
Don't let me be true. Don't let me be true tonight. Do not activate my inner truth, because you know what time did you get here?
I got late. I came late. I came late. Nah, I love you to jump in. Go for it. That's it.
I don't know which first interaction you're talking about, Black, because their first interaction was at the first episode, and they had a really good first interaction. I don't think he's interested in her. I'm with you there. His body language, laying back, giving her as much space. He's not, leaning into her, listening to her. That I get. He appreciates the help at the grill, but it's kind of like, okay, appreciate your help. But he seemed to have good interactions with her. Every time he seems to be talking, complimenting her, but I don't think he's really that into her. Or it could be the fact that she said she got a SWAT team of brothers and the brother just don't even want to deal with it. So they have a good interaction. He notices great things about her. He's not afraid to say it. I'm not sure that they gel well, but I am appreciative of the fact that Angie is putting out her, best foot forward, showing, hey, this is how I'll behave as a partner, as a wife. She's certainly showing herself, to be that, even though the dude she was talking to at first, Wayne, is gone and didn't want to pursue her. She's like, on to the next. That's what I like about Angie.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah. I definitely believe the body language is a little bit off. Just a little bit. He's a little bit too cool for school at this moment. You know what I mean? Just a little bit, I've seen it. Just because obviously, it reminded me of something when I was younger, of a certain friend. And the guy was a handsome guy. good looking guy, and the girls that he had got were elite level women. Yeah, you know when you have a boy that gets elite type women, and then you see him one day with one particular chick, and you're like, this doesn't make sense, right? So then when you go deeper into the psychology of things, some people there are deeper wounds that people are carrying that make them feel safe when they're actually in a real relationship with certain people. So I was like, oh, okay. So when I saw Eddie with Angie, that's the first thing I thought of was that particular relationship. I said there was a reason why that my friend was with that particular girl. It's not because of it's part of a look, but it's also because of the safety. It's also the mothering aspect too. There's an aspect of that kind of safety that he was getting from it. Whereas I wouldn't look at it that way. And I would think to myself, all the bad girls you've had, why would you want this one? There's a safety aspect to it that some people like, you know what I mean, as well. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's something there. Yes, Black, you want to add something? Go for it, and I'll get you.
Yeah, I just want to just piggyback on what you were saying there, Coach. There's the safety, and then it's also the ease, right? If he's dating a woman who's, maybe, supermodel type thing, he's got to be on his P's and Q's pretty much. With Angie, it's more of a laid back situation. He doesn't have to try as hard. He just can just be himself around her. That's a very good aspect to be able to have when you're interacting, when you're dating, when you're trying to see where you fit. The more comfortable a woman lets you be, then that's going to open up those doors that what you said, Elsie, about them, that first interaction was really good. It was positive. That's why, because he feels very comfortable around her. So I think that has a lot to do with it too. So he may very well go that direction. Let's see what it was saying.
What are you saying, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I really have anything different to add. I need to see a little bit more of them, like maybe a one-on-one to really gauge it. Because I think maybe he wasn't considering her at first. And then when she was helping him when he was on the grill, I think that opened him up to her a little bit more, because that's what he really focused in on, how he liked that, and that's something he's looking for, in a relationship, that ability to help out, that, teamwork kind of mentality and supportiveness. So perhaps he's seeing her in a different light at the moment, mixed with he's just genuinely being a nice person, and also knows that he's in this kind of like speed dating kind of process. And although the men are in charge this week, next week it's likely going to be the women. So you can't just necessarily dismiss somebody, especially if they're being nice, and Angie is going out of her way to be nice. So, maybe there's a little strategy to it. I just need to see, again, the more one-on-one.
Definitely hear that as well. Definitely. Okay, cool. Any other thoughts on Eddie and Angie? Jay, have I asked you?
Yeah, y'all know a way to a man's heart is his stomach. So she done worked her way up into that man's heart. Helped him out on the grill, made sure his meat was right and ready, and I appreciate them both for it, because I like me a good meal while I'm swimming too. So somebody needed to do the cooking, and I appreciate them both for it. But I agree with y'all. I don't know if there's much there just yet. I don't know what his type is. We don't know what his past relationships look like. Sometimes we look at people and we assume that they like a certain type, just to only find out they are total opposite. Like Red Man, for example, you would think he got a certain type, but his type is like bigger women. So you just never know what his type is. I'm not really sure. I look at COLEY and say that's his type, but then how he treats COLEY sometimes that's not it either. So I'm not really sure what his type is. And Angie's a little bit all over the place with her type. So she's a bit open. So I'm not really sure exactly what she's looking for either. So we'll give him a little bit more time to see how it goes for now. But it's a good start, I guess. I guess we got to have somebody. So.
All right, I appreciate it. Okay, cool. Good points. I definitely hear that. All right, cool. Let's go to the next couple, or the next people that were talking. Well, actually, Cam decided to open up a little bit more, on the show with the group, and he shared some things as well about his particular life and how he had been through depression, and how his niece kind of saved him actually as well. So I'd love to get you guys' perspective on that, just a quick one as well, and what your thoughts were, because I think that may have made us understand Cam a little bit more. Maybe we got a better understanding, maybe, or maybe we didn't. I don't know. Maybe it helped us. I'm not sure. Yes, go for it.
I think we did. I don't know if anyone is suffer with depression or has a family member that suffer, or a friend. They seem, so a lot of times they have like kind of sad eyes, and you can see them in their face, especially when you have clinical depression. You can see it in someone's affect, and I saw it in him. I wasn't sure what I was looking at, but his face definitely had that look that possibly he suffered from depression or is suffering. And so him sharing that, I think, kind of helps explain that maybe he's not being dry, and his affect is not, it's not intentional. It's just kind of, something that he's going through. And so I appreciated him sharing that, because I think that explains a lot about him, because you can kind of see his, like Druzy said, his sad affect. And I'm glad that he was vulnerable here. See, you guys, I'm happy about vulnerability. I'm not mad at the vulnerability. I'm growing. Okay. I was happy that he was being vulnerable here, because I think it helped.
No tears.
Huh? Yeah.
No tears.
Yes, no tears. Thank you. But I am glad that he was being vulnerable, because I think that helps people understand him better. And I think that's an important part of his story. So I did want to say that.
I think the small group was much better for him. He did open up. It seemed like at that second mixer, maybe he went in to kind of recharge himself in the social setting. But I love the fact that he opened it. He disclosed that information, because it helps the ladies to get an insight into him. I know we'll get to it. It turned into self-reporting about past criminal enterprises, but it was wonderful that Cam felt open enough to talk about that, because we really don't hear that a lot on the shows.
Okay. Any other thoughts from anybody else in this? I know it's a quick one, so we're not going to spend too long on this, because we're going to explain obviously his situation with Rose. But anyone else want to add with the Cam situation, what they saw in terms of? I can show you a little clip if you want a quick reminder of what he kind of said.
Here anymore, to be honest with you.
So your worth.
Yeah, no self-worth. My niece kept popping in my head like I can't go because of her.
Keep her there.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, what do I got to do to get better?
Right.
So I just had to change my mindset. And honestly, I'm a way, way, way happier person than what I was.
Okay. Any other thoughts on just Cam solely? We'll obviously get to other people that he's interacted with, but any other thoughts on Cam? Yes, Sean.
I forgot that he said he had to change his mindset, I think, which is good. I'm just curious if he, sought any type of professional help too. And if he is any type of ongoing, therapeutic process. I'd be curious if that's part of it. And that's the only thing that probably, just sometimes, I don't know if he's jaded from things because he, his pushback on any type of relationship with God. I can understand organized religion, but he's just not really into any type of relationship with God. So I don't know. I think that I would just be interested to see that part of him, why is he opposed to having faith? Why is has he sought some type of help and is in any type of ongoing help as well?
Yeah, I agree, Sean. There's definitely a deeper story behind him that causes all of that to happen. I'm really curious to see how the ladies are going to handle that information. So next week, the ladies will deliberate. So I want to see if anyone's going to bring that up, anyone's going to say anything about it, because sometimes vulnerability can come at a cost if you're in the wrong company when you're being vulnerable. So I'm curious to see that part. But yeah, I think it is something deeper going on than just that with him.
All right, cool. I appreciate your thoughts. All right, let's move it. Obviously, Cam obviously had a relationship, or so say, really a connection. I apologize. Relationship's a bit strong. Connections with Sahara and Rose. So we're gonna take the Sahara version first, because he had to let her know about the elimination aspect. Sahara obviously said her pieces and said everyone else can rest in pieces. I want to get your thoughts on this aspect because she really didn't want to hear nothing else apart from the fact that she was right, even though she was wrong.
Like, I have to break down your walls to see you. That's fine for me, because I'm actually interested, but that's not fine for other people.
Okay.
You dope.
Okay, Cam. I'm gonna be better.
Sahara, she's very brash. A lot of men don't like that, but once you break that down, it's just like...
All right. My first question is this. Obviously, with the Cam and Sahara situation, he said obviously he had to break some walls down. I want to get your actual thoughts on Sahara as well, because I keep saying Sahara, apologies, but Sahara. I want to get your thoughts on her. Like, he seemed to he did seem to get through to her, and she actually gave him a response that you kind of know when someone is willing to change for that person, for that particular person. I don't know about anyone else. She sounded like she had F you to everybody else, but it almost felt like she was willing to make changes for Cam, which was really interesting to hear the tone and the way she said it. Almost like she was almost like a little girl in that moment, compared to what we normally seen. So I'd love to get your perspective on that. Is that something that you saw, or how did you see that situation with Sahara? Is she changing for Cam specifically, or is it just her playing acting? Like, how did you view that perspective? I'm seeing some few nodded heads, so let me get Elsid first, and go to Black, and then get your perspectives.
I think what softened her up is that he did say, "Hey, I do like you, but this is what I'm seeing. This is what the men are seeing." I think she kind of put him in the category. He's not doing this to kind of, tell me what to do. I need to change. It's not authoritarian, so she's able to receive it. I do believe Cam and her are kind of like the same person. They both got a hard exterior. He's quiet with it, but she's loud to be defensive. So I think that, he kind of could see himself through her. He sees the behavior. And I did not like how she approached it at first. She sounded like she was being, a little resistant, like she was in the first mixer when she said, "Forget y'all." I'm hoping that, she, lit some good candles that night. So I think she was receptive because he did come from a good place of letting her know exactly what is being said, what is seen, and how she could do better.
Listen, what I got from it is how he talked to her. It's how you communicate to a lady. A man can assert a certain type of attention when you speak to a woman a certain way. He wasn't disrespectful. He wasn't mean. He was stern in what he said. He gave good feedback. She listened to that feedback and it finally got to her. Well, you know what? I will do better. But I agree with Coach O. It was personalized by saying his name, so she will do better for him. She don't want to leave him. And I think it's because he did say, "I'm into you." But when Cam said, "Yeah, I can handle her," it was because he saw in that interaction that she could listen. Now, anybody else give her feedback? Anyone give her anything negative about herself, what she does, her activities, just her personality? She doesn't take it well. But he did something to calm her in that moment and get her attention. And it's how he talked to her. I'm telling you, there's so much power in that. You don't have to yell. You don't have to scream. You can get things done by how you talk to your woman. Okay, so that was it. That's what I got from that.
Yeah, I love that. Power. That's a really great topic.
Say that again, Black. That sounded good when you said that. I'm sorry.
But how we talk to a woman?
I kind of missed it.
Yes.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, it's a way that a man can talk to his woman to get her attention. And it doesn't have to be forceful. You don't have to yell. You don't have to scream at the top of your lungs to get a woman to do what needs to be done, especially if she knows deep down that you have her best interest at heart. She's going to listen, point blank.
So like what we were saying earlier with COLEY knowing how to speak to Fritz.
100%, absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, Sean.
I'm not talking after that. go to Jay, go to somebody else.
Okay.
My bad, Sean. We want to hear you too.
Thank you, Jay. I feel almost better. Yeah, I don't feel like she's changing. I think she is who she is, and whoever's gonna be with her is just gonna have to be able to deal with that. I'm trying to be better, so I just don't want to be so hard on her. It would be a no for me, but seems like Cam likes her. I don't know if it's a red flag that he wants to, tame her in that aspect. If you've got to, be the Sahara whisperer, I don't know what kind of relationship that would make for, but hey, if he likes it, I love it. More power to him. But she just is a little too erratic for me. Very erratic, a little impulsive. She might be fun to hang out with for a little bit, but that would really be it. That's probably why she gets the homie vibes,
Well, yeah, no, I definitely understand that. Love that. Go for it, Jay.
I'm glad that Cam did find a way to reach through to her. Hopefully, this will be the awakening she needs to change some of the behavior. But it's the question really is, how do you change what you don't know, or change to what you don't know? Because I just don't think that she just knows any other way than Sahara's way. I just think she needs more exposure in life to different, settings, so she can be able to code switch when she needs to. And that's the problem. But then it's not helping when you have men in your DMs talking about Europe and stuff like that. So it's like, how you don't want me to be the homie when you're talking to me like the homie at the same time. So she's in a catch-22 because Fritz is not helping because he just doesn't like her. So it's like maybe she just need to stop, just cancel him all the way out, stop talking to him, and focus on talking to people like Cam Moore, who don't mind taking the time to wait for her softness to present itself as much as it can. You know what I'm saying? It's only so much she can give. She just literally told us, like, I'm being as soft as I possibly can right now. And for some of y'all, it might not be soft enough. And like Sean said, she's just going to have to be okay with the fact that she is who she is, and okay with everybody may not like who she is. I just need her to be in that kind of space. Is I'm just okay that y'all don't mess with me the way I need somebody to mess with me is fine, but don't have the attitude. And when you get the feedback that you get, it's nothing bad. I don't know why a lot of people get so mad when they say that you're in a homie's position. It's just something that they don't see you romantically, and that's okay. Those are not your people romantically. You know what I'm saying? That's all that means. You don't have to get an attitude. You don't have to blow up on anything about it. Just receive the feedback and move on. So I'm glad that she eventually did receive it. I hope she can work with it and move forward and work it out going forth. But it is what it is.
I wanted to add too. The thing I did like about her, she is what's the word? It's like she is insightful because she called out Fritz. You know what I mean? She called him out for the copy and paste text. She called out, I think there's an upcoming scene where she calls out Eddie because she met him in the past before, and he kind of ghosted her. So she's good at clocking things and putting words to seeing how people are really really keen on her. I think the next step is how to communicate that, similar to what we were talking about with COLEY and how she was talking to Fritz. Her delivery is horrible, but she be seeing and she be knowing, because Fritz was playing games with those, copy and paste texts and calling and yerping her in the text message. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, listen, I think great points have been made. I hope Sahara can take it on the chin. I hope she can start to listen, because it's not always that actually you can implement it straight away. And not everyone, or when people are telling you something, it's not even that you can implement it straight away, right? It is the willingness to be receptive to what people are telling you. And I think that's what's really important. Right now, we haven't really seen that from Sahara apart from when Cam has spoken to her. I think if she takes a more perspective where she is more inquisitive about why people are feeling that way, like obviously I think Fritz obviously was saying what you're saying. I don't know if he actually told her to her face though, but Cameron's obviously let her know, do you know what I mean? And whether she's willing to, yet in the confessionals we can see she's not willing to. And I think that's the bigger issue as well for her own self. She needs to be able to be open to some of the feedback, that the way that you may show up, there's a time and there is a season for that. Because I think this is a key thing, right? And it's not for everybody, because some people are going to really love Sahara as the way she is, right? They're going to love her the way she is. Just like people are going to love the prison bae. But the reality of the situation, the majority of people are not going to want that particular type of person because they don't live that lifestyle. And, I think a great example of this is, when you say, are you going to feel comfortable if you bring that person to your parents? Or you're going to have to tell them a story first. Now, if you have to start explaining a story first, you already know you ain't comfortable. You know what I'm saying to you? If you know you have to do a whole switcheroo, let's say if you were going to meet the president or meet a prime minister, and you know that your partner, you have to warn them before they get there. Hey. Now we meeting the president, I think, you got to relax or something. Then you already know that you're already in a particular place that maybe for you, this might not be it. You know what I'm saying? For you. Again, there is obviously someone for her, just like there's someone for the prison bae. But, it's just a way of just being aware of that as well. Yes, Black, did you want to add something quickly? Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to add something really quickly. Okay. Any other thoughts on Sahara Desert? No? No more thoughts. I guess it's dried up all those answers. All right, cool. Let's then move on to obviously Cam, because Cam obviously then had a conversation with another person, which was Rose, and I want to just play a little clip before you guys jump in, because I know you guys got some strong opinions on those two as well. So let's get Cam's date with the lovely Rose. Rose is very beautiful, by the way, very, very beautiful. Okay, let's get that there.
Hi.
Bro.
How you doing? Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you.
I know, it's good to see you too.
She gonna hug me like that too. It's gonna be long for everybody. Yeah, it's gonna be long for you. She hugged me like I'm gonna melt. Who cheated on who? I don't even know. I want to get your thoughts, obviously, on Cam and Rose, and what your thoughts were on their date, because they had a great interaction, and the attraction was certainly there, but obviously she let us know about the fact that she had been cheated on several times. Let me get your thoughts first and foremost on their date and their chemistry, and then feel free to dive in as well to what her comments were about the cheating aspect of dealing with men who consistently cheat on her. Who'd like to go first? Who's up for the batting cage? Who wants to take it on board? Who's willing and ready and able?
Would play that clip where she says the cheating, would that be too long?
I can play it for you if you want to play it for you.
Yeah, real quick if you can.
Okay, let me just play that clip for you then, guys. Okay, here we go. If I can just... There we go. I think I just got it. Here we go. Okay.
I've been cheated on by every man I've been with.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I don't lose hope. I don't lose faith, because I understand you gotta keep getting off and dust yourself off and try again. Sometimes you gotta dig to that garbage to find your diamond.
So, like...
Okay, so let me start with this. Okay. It was really hard for me to watch this, because all I could think about was how much this woman looks like one of the panelists. And that's Jay. Jay, I kid you not, this could be your sister, cousin, or something, because yes, she is beautiful, but you guys favor her so much. I'm sorry if no one else has pointed that out. But yes, Jay, for sure. Now, back on to being cheated. I like that she has a positive outlook on dating. She hasn't given up, because how you think and how you approach dating is what you're going to get. So I like that she's not giving up on dating, but at the same time, you have to take some type of accountability for the situations that you're being in. What's causing these men to cheat on you? I'm not saying it's her fault, but you gotta have to understand what's causing it. Is it an action? Is it a lack of an action that's being done or not done that's causing this to happen? Or are you just getting bad men? So it's just kind of digging a little bit deeper in that, and instead of saying, okay, I've been cheated on multiple times, just toss it up to just, it happens. No, you have to find out what's going on. Is it how you're choosing men? Is it how the men are choosing you? It has to be a deeper question and answer for that particular situation. I don't know based upon that conversation.
I hear that. Good points. Anyone else wants to answer this question? The ladies, maybe even. Since Seaway asked about the cheating, I don't know if you wanted to answer.
Well, I did think this was a very sweet date. From what I remember on this date, she also didn't she say something about going to church or getting him to go to church? Did that happen? Or did I make that up? Yeah. And so I thought he seemed very receptive to maybe going to church, and I thought that was cute that she was trying to lead him to Christ. I was like, Rose is a good woman. She's trying to lead him to Christ, and he seems open to it. So maybe not all hope is lost there. I almost forgot about this. She's been cheated on by every relationship. I always feel like the people who say that, we end up finding out that there's as much wrong with them as there is the people who is doing the cheating. But I digress, because I don't want to trigger nobody today. But yeah, so I pray that whatever that led her into picking those relationships and being in those type of situations, that she's kind of reflected on that. But her and what's his name again? Help me.
Cam.
I really like their energy, and I see something there for them. And so hopefully he'll be open to maybe building a spiritual relationship. And all I could think about is that, there's nothing wrong with trying to lead someone to Christ. Not everybody has to be fully formed and fully made when you see them. If you could be a positive influence and help your spouse with that, there's nothing wrong with that. So hopefully he'll be open to that. I'm hoping. That's all.
I'm hoping too, because it sounds like he just trying to get along to say what the beautiful woman in front of him that he's interested in wants him to do. It just seems like, oh, she's beautiful. I want to be with her. If that means going to church, I'll go. I would like him to share more with her as to, why he distanced himself from the church, why he has a complicated relationship with his family. And he also has not dated a woman with children before. That could be also challenging, knowing that her time, is taken away, from him with responsibilities of motherhood. So he was receptive. He was the right tone, the right temperature for the date. He did let her know that, he likes oysters a lot. So maybe this could be something, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure at all.
And what my question, because someone in the comments made me think of this. I also wonder why some women decide to share so much about themselves that kind of let the man know that they're dating, that they're a doormat, or that at some point, I don't know how to put this, but I feel like a lot of women, they just like they either they'll give all their whole facts too early, or they'll tell a man that they've been cheated on by everyone, or they'll tell a man they used to get knocked upside their head on the first, second date. I just feel like those are just not things that you just want to, share so early, and people really be sharing that stuff early, and I don't think it helps them.
Maybe it's to get the sympathy vote.
Well, I don't think that's the vote they want.
No, that's not how it's received either. And I don't know why they don't see that. And I'm sorry to speak for the gentleman on board, and y'all could speak for yourself. It's not to me, it's not received like that. It's like, oh, so you had no clue? So what's going on in your life that you didn't notice, wouldn't notice? It brings more questions up. And if everybody, is it an exaggeration too? you know, what is going on that you're saying everybody when it could have been majority of the people and not everybody? So the way she worded it, I'll be like, I'm gonna need you to explain that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some follow-up questions that need to be had, that should have been had when that was said. Because like I said, I'm sorry, I'm not really blaming her or the men, but I do know good women do get cheated on. So it's not necessarily saying that it's something bad that she's doing, but when she used that term all, whether she meant all or not, it was said by her. So it's coming from her viewpoint. So she's really feeling that it's all men that she's dated that has done this to her. Then to me, it is something missing. It is something missing. You got to dig deeper in that, or just leave it alone altogether. I mean, it just really depends on the man and the woman. If you come into the table with that, you can either deal it out. You can go layer by layer if I try to understand what's going on, or you can say, you know what, I'm at a point in my life where this is too much. I need you to come with this going on. But that is a lot. But I can also see that she's giving signs. I'll say this: she's giving signs that she's a good woman. She is, like, her heart is in the right place. So I hate that for her, but something else is going on.
Definitely hear that. Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, now we got to get into the numbers now, because is all three, like, how many relationships are you talking about? Were you in 3 relationships and they all cheated? Were you in 2 and they all cheated? Were you in 5 and they all cheated? Because I think then, it does make a difference. But similar to what Seaway and, El Cid even said, like, I just think it's very early. We can have some mystery. I don't think I necessarily need to know that. I think there's a better way to package it, right? Like, listen, there was some lessons learned from my previous relationships. There was some infidelity, but I've healed from that, right? And I'm moving forward because I really do happen to love, Rose's energy, her lightness. She's a beautiful woman, beautiful smile. Cam seems to have great energy. From the looks of it, he didn't take it anyway, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean it didn't compute in his brain, and he may analyze and think about it later. So I just think when you're dating, especially in the very early stages, it's like it's like sales. You're selling yourself to that person. And it's not to say you lie, but you also want to make sure you're framing your words, and something like your previous relationships, you want to really be thinking about it. Lastly, it's a no for me with the God religion stuff. Once we're off even keels, they can be friends and you can minister to him and, bring him over to God and Christ. And I'm going to take it that she believes in Jesus Christ, because that's how she ended her prayer. But yeah, in relationships, it's a no, because you're constantly going to be pulling that person to try to do something. And it's not to say 2 people have to be at the same point in their relationship with God. But if he's daggone near an atheist and she's a believer, it's too far away. And you're constantly going to have to be trying to pull somebody along. You're going to be guessing if they're really in it for you. And what winds up happening is that's why there's so many, mothers at church while their husbands and boyfriends stay home. The mothers take the kids to church and the fathers stay home. I've seen a lot of that. And it happens that way because the person is like, I'm fine with you doing you. Like, yeah, you could do you. I don't have a problem with that. And then therein lies the issue, because what winds up ultimately happening is that means in all facets, rather, you're going to be doing you and he's going to be doing him, whatever that means. You guys are not going to be on the same foundation. So I would definitely tell anybody, don't move forward with that. Could it possibly work out? Sure. But I think the odds are not in her favor for that one.
I agree with you, Sean. I think that if he was in on it, like if he wanted to learn more, wanted to be more about God, learn more about God, and just the positive that he brings, then that'll be different. But if he's like, that's not my thing, or pushing it away, I agree with you. It's a no-go from that jump right there. That's enough for me to say no to any woman. So yeah, I agree with you.
Go for it.
Give me a second because I need to get where I can hear you a little bit better. Hold on. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
No, I was just going to ask the fellas a question, but go for it, Jay.
Well, ask the question because I'm trying to get to a space where I can hear you better because my volume is being weird real quick.
No worries, babe. No, I was going to ask the guys, obviously, so, you know, if you're talking to a lady and, you know, it's quite early on and she lets you know that, you know, she has been cheated on in all her relationships, how are you taking it? How are you viewing her? How are you seeing her? In all honesty, put the ladies on some game.
Why do you have to ask that question like that? You really just killed me with it.
I don't know why I asked the question that way. It's this new haircut. It's got me feeling some type of way. What's your thoughts, fellas, in that respect? If a lady was to tell you that information? Yes, Black.
You know what? If you caught me in my 20s, I would have been like, you know what? It's sad to say, but it would have been a project in a sense of showing her something. Because I've always been that guy in relationships from that start. Like, if a woman has had a bad time in a relationship, I made it my business to show her a different side, right? So a woman was saying she was being cheated on in all my relationships. I'd be like, oh, okay, you got the right one now. Let me show you how we do this. And then go that route as far as showing her respect, love, everything that's needed in a relationship without the cheating, without the negative experiences that she's had. But now, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it because it's such an uphill battle to convince, because she's going through it so much. I know there'll be times I may come home 9:30, 10 o'clock. What were you doing? Were you out there cheating? That's already in her mind to me. If she's saying the word all, she's already has it in her mind that the next man up, it's likely he will do the same thing. I don't want my woman starting off a relationship with me actually thinking that I'm going to cheat on her. That's not how we move over here. So I don't want to have to do all that.
Sure.
I would want to know, we would just dig deeper in terms of, you know, like I said, like, what's all, you know, is it, you know, a series of back-to-back relationships? Is this something dating back? Like, because some people, you know, they get back and start talking about stuff that happened in high school. It's like, I don't really want to know what happened in high school. If you're counting a relationship when you were 19, 18, I mean, was it significant at the time? Sure. But that's not, let's talk about stuff in your late 20s, your 30s, you know, that kind of stuff. And if it's a lot, I would definitely want to hear, like, what is the learning? I've never had it, so it's just odd. I've never had anybody say that to me. You know, somebody said, yeah, people have cheated in the past. You know, like I've had women say that to me, but like somebody to just say every single relationship, it's a little jarring. So I think it's a little jarring. I would just want to know more. Again, I do like the fact that she said, I'm not holding that against anybody. I go into it with a fresh mentality. And from what we've seen, you know, of her, these few episodes, I think that's true. That's who she is. She walks with a lightness about her and a good energy. I just would also want to know, has she seen that lady though? Because if you have been through a lot of cheating like that and it's substantial within your recent past, your adult past, I want to know, have you sat down with the lady? You know, because you got to sit down with the lady at some point. If you done been through all of that, you can't avoid it. We got to sit down with the lady and talk through some things and see what's what, you know. And if the lady's a Christian, I'm all for it. You know, whatever the lady needs to look and show up like, but you know, you got to sit down with that lady and talk a little bit.
Yes.
I'm sorry, just real quick.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. See where you want to go.
No, go for it. I wasn't going to say anything. Go for it.
I was curious as far as why she said that information. Like we can all say, okay, don't give too much information too soon. But why was it in this conversation that she exposed that? I'm thinking it has something to do with her ability to forgive, or her ability to understand. But it didn't come off that way. It didn't come off that way at all. So it's just something that just hit me. That's all.
No, yeah. I mean, listen. I said it earlier on that if I want to be strictly straight, which I am. But sorry, haircut got me saying bad jokes. But no. Obviously, I think in this situation, that it's a word in that threw me off. It's when she said, obviously, I've been cheated in all relationships. It is the all for me. You know what I mean? Because she could have just said, oh, in some of my relationships, yes, I have been cheated on, but she said all, which means any kind of relationship she's considered in her mind, she's been cheated on. I'm gonna be thinking, rah, this is probably a few relationships you've been into, as well. I mean, okay, let's say she had three relationships that she'd been cheated on, 3 major relationships that she'd been in. I just want to Elsa says she her head be shaking, but I want to be able to just see something. So if there were 3 relationships that have been cheated on, how would you view that situation then with her then? Would that be enough context for you, Sean? If she had said 3 relationships in the last, let's say, decade,
and she's 38.
Yeah. So 3
again.
relationships.
My follow up questions would still be like, okay, so. Have you talked through that? What are some things that you walked away with from those experiences? What is it that keeps you light? Because sometimes people used to say, I remember one ex that I used to, talk to, and she would always be like, oh, we would talk. And she was like, that's amazing. And that's awesome. She would just throw out these platitudes. And I'm like, and eventually, once we got to know each other, I'm like, what's amazing? And then she just was stumped. So I'm like, and I was like, you're just saying fluff, right? Because it's just something you thought sounds good. It wasn't really amazing, right? I'm like, say your feelings. Don't just feel like you have to say platitudes to say them. So I would want to know, I say that example to say, like, I would want to know, is she truly, like, as we go deeper, of course, like, is she really fully healed? What work did you do to heal from that? Because if you were in 3 substantial relationships and they all cheated, that's a lot of pain, So how did you deal with that pain? How were you able to be the person that's showing up today? And I think then I would want to hear it, I would want to hear what her answers are. And that would then kind of let me get to a place where, we were on the same level of understanding.
And obviously yourself, Black.
Give me the question one more time, Coach.
She gives you context, and the context is that 3 relationships last decade. That's what she's been cheated on. How are you going to handle that situation? Are you gonna say that there's more context that's needed? Like, what would be your perspective of her in that essence?
Yeah, actually saying 3 times in a decade is a little bit more perspective. Actually, I can see that happening to any relationship, to be honest with you. So to me, that's something I can work with if she's saying it that way. If it was an all situation, or if it is, when she says all, I'm thinking more than 3. For her being 38 or approaching 40, I'm thinking more than 3. Because we're thinking about high school, even 20s, 30s, we think all the way up. So unless she's taking a long time to step away from dating, I do think that it was more than 3. But if someone said 3, 10 years, I would still lean in and get more information. I wouldn't write off as soon as I heard all. All is what you give me, and I needed more information. That's where you wanted to leave it. That's where you wanted to keep it. Then I'm done. I can't do more than that. But I would need more. So with 3, I can lean in. I can still be there.
Fantastic. Now I only put 3 on the context is because when someone said all, it's left up in the air. So now you have to make up your context. Did you know what I'm saying to you? So when I added 3, it added context. But if you say all, people's mind wanders. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So that's how powerful communication is, and certain words are being used. So when she did use it all, it's not even about, let's say, her saying her truth. Maybe just be a bit more rounded with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I think Sean put it eloquently too as well about what did you learn? Have you been to a lady? You know, have you really done some work so that we also know on the other side that, okay, we're not walking into a mindfulness, much like yourself, Corey. Yes, I like to heal people, and that's a bad trait in certain circumstances. So, you know, your natural thought is to try and fix. Obviously not now, but a perspective and time, which doesn't usually end well. So yeah, so definitely understand that. ESL said, do you want to add something?
Y'all are making it like roses smelling like roses. I need to know her definition of a relationship. Because, I mean, it could be in her head she was in a relationship and she wasn't. I mean, I need more information. Was this long-term? Was it a committed relationship? I mean, something is going on. These people are still single, all the way here in their mid-30s. So while I'm hearing they cheated, I'm not hearing anything that Rose is introspective at the end of her relationships, what she has learned to be better in the next. I'm hearing they were bad. They did something. I'm like, okay, Rose, I'm hearing you. I'm commiserating. But what did you do? Where are the thorns on this rose bush? Because there got to be some.
Good points. Definitely good points. I hear you on that. 100%. Okay. Obviously, Cam obviously spoke to her during that session as well. I mean, obviously they prayed together, and I think you guys mentioned it as well. And it was interesting to kind of see that he was willing to open up and pray with her, although she mentioned vaginas after. But hey,
they said grace, Kojo. Come on now. That was a step up from the Liz and Jason grace. Come on.
Hey,
they said grace, and he was over it too. He was
exactly
not too much.
Exactly.
So she preparing herself to be cheated on by Cam too, because he ain't trying to go to church and do none of this stuff, and she just need to stop it while it's ahead. Because when you have strong boundaries in this regards like this, you just need to leave it alone.
Yeah.
You really into religion and he's really not. So just leave it alone. Just go on your separate ways. You know what I'm saying? And let me just jump back in here real quick with this all situation, because that bothered me too, Kojo. That's what stuck out to me. I don't, it's a two-sided coin with this one on for me. It really sucks that we do live in a world where her saying all is really not like that far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? But it also is in a space of, sis, your discernment, your boundaries, your judgment, like a lot of things need to be in question as well. It sucks that, you are having a difficult time finding a man to treat you right and not have gone down that road. You know what I'm saying? I was in a space where it felt like all men cheated on me until I found a man that didn't. So it's just like, they're not all men. I don't like when we go down this thing. So you're giving all men a bad rap. All the men in your experience, unfortunately, yes, probably did cheat on you, but it also leads me to more questions from like Sean said, on your end. Sean's favorite thing. What did you learn, first of all, from any of this? You know what I'm saying? How do you carry that into the next relationship? Because granted, I'm all for giving everybody a blank canvas, but you are a little bit tarnished now. You're a little bit scarred now. So you're going to walk a little bit different to each relationship. So as much as we like to say we're giving somebody a blank canvas, they don't truly have a blank canvas to work with. You know what I'm saying? So are you doing things from the one relationship now that are proactive and now causing the new relationship to react in the same manner? Or are you just doing the same things and expecting different results? So it's like there is a lot of questions that needed to be had, which I don't know if Cam asked one, but there was a lot of questions that I think needed to have been asked to her. Because that's, to me, when you say this all thing, you want to have this conversation. You clearly want to have this conversation. So let's have it. Let's have it. How did all these men cheat on you? Why did the first one cheat on you? Why did the second one cheat on you? How did you find out? How did you react? Did you give them a second chance? Did you say, it's a lot of more questions that need to be going on with this conversation. besides that. But if you wanted to ask me, Cam is not your person. You are clearly into the faith. Just because he did a prayer with you, or he let you pray through the food with him and held hands with you, doesn't mean much, because he was about tired of it, and you barely said, God is good, God is great. Okay. That's not much of a prayer. So I don't know with these two. Good looking couple, but yeah, no.
Hey, she got the brother to say amen, though. That was like, oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That is the bare below basement level minimum now, Corey. Amen.
I was
salutation for a prayer.
So I'm saying, just for him to even say that much, it was a lot. So I think for him, not for us.
And I like Rose. You know, I really do. I do like her. So I just, you know, it's about looking and seeing what the opportunities are, you know, but I need her to not do what, unfortunately, we do see the ladies do. We're seeing the YT ladies down to the Love is Blind do it, where they're compromising their values just to, you know, be in a relationship. So I don't want anybody to compromise your core values. There is, you know, there's making adjustments and, you know, compromising generally, but you don't want to compromise on your core values. So for me, I just think him not even, he didn't even say, I have a relationship with God, I just haven't been to church in a long time. He's like, I'm not on it. I'm not on it. At all. That's a tall leap. Relationships are hard enough alone. So if you are all the way on different sides from a faith aspect, which is a very core belief, and you're trying to bridge that gap, yeah, why would you want to climb that mountain when there's so many more mountains that you're going to have to climb in terms of getting to know each other and work through, you know? So I want her to just smile and be nice, but don't get too invested, because now you're setting yourself up for another scenario. So.
Yep, I think you guys are smashing it beautifully. I think obviously with Rose as well, I think you guys mentioned a great part of compatibility. That if she really is about, if she really is about her faith, this is not the time to compromise with somebody who's not of the faith. And that's compromises like that are actually part of the reason why oftentimes people get cheated on. They're compromising on something, whether it's integrity, whether it's boundaries, whether it's something like that, and that's what actually ends up leading to dealing with people who actually don't fit them, are not fit for them. So I think Cam kind of fits that space. Okay, you can preach to him, you don't have to date him. You know what I mean? So if she wants to, she can always preach to him, bring him to church, but she doesn't have to date him. Okay, moving on then. We'll leave those two. There's no one else anyone's got to say about those two there. We then obviously have True and NAEEM situation, which happened, which was very, very interesting. The beef was so real. You know what? Google gonna have to do an advert with True and NAEEM, because boy, the beef has been absolutely litigated with these two. Coming late to the gym, the passive aggressiveness, I call it the passion aggression, that these two exhibited on each other. Let's have a little look at these two.
I'm here now, and we're here.
Okay.
So, I really haven't heard from you.
As far as what, today?
As far as I gave you my number, which...
Okay, so thoughts on True and NAEEM's beef. It's carried over from last week, and, you know, it seems that the Google number has taken a life of its own, and because she missed the gym session, she's now unfit. Bang bang. I'm on a freaking roll. Yeah, the haircut is doing it. What's your thoughts, guys and ladies, to this perspective with True and NAEEM, and how did you see the situation between these two? Who would like to take this on?
Yeah, you gotta kill that, man. Yeah, you got to kill the conversation. Okay, you said it the first time that, why didn't you call me? He didn't give you an answer. Well, he gave you an answer, but you come back the next show with the same question. You've been given the answer the first time. It's like, okay, now it's annoying. Now it's irritating at this point. I think that the whole Google Voice number, I get it. She's talking about, I don't know you. I don't know where. Let me talk about this for a second. I don't know where we got to the point where we're handing out social media tags for interactions now. Now I'm at a point where if I'm trying to talk to you, I don't want your social media handle. I want your number. If you don't want me to have your number, that's fine. We can both part ways. But I'm old school with mine. I'm not looking to be a fan of yours on social media. I'm looking to get to know you. So for him, that's kind of how we saw it from his viewpoint. I can see that bothering him to get a Google Voice number. If you're really interested in me and you offer me your number, you say, you're going to give me your number. Give me your number, not a Google Voice number. But at the same time, I do think that it's a bit much. He's stretching it a lot, the whole Google Voice thing. Because I do understand that with the Google Voice number, at least you're getting a number and not something else, not an email, not a difficult way to reach out to somebody. So to me, I think he's doing too much with the whole Google Voice. I also think she's doing too much with following up about it because it comes off a little desperate. It comes off as she's begging for his attention, begging for him to reach out and text or whatever. And I think it was bad taste to bring it up when you're late to an event as a way to say, you did this too, or you haven't called me, so you can't say anything about me being late. That's not mature. The conversation about this whole situation is just not a mature conversation because there's better ways to handle it.
Okay.
Beautiful.
I understand the premise of the Google number, and I understand your premise, Black. We're gonna be existential. Apart from this, it was, for a lot of women, it's a safety thing, not giving your personal number. That's a safety thing when you're first meeting a gentleman that you don't even know who he is and what he's about. In this case, true, you're going dating strangers, and how does he know it's a Google Voice if he didn't try to use it? But anyway, I'm a team Android, so I don't know how these iPhones get down with each other with this Google Voice. She could have told him, and it could be that NAEEM don't like being blocked because you can cut off a Google Voice number to only ring certain times a day. So he probably wants full access and he's not going to get it. Or she could just ignore him. So, and he can't trace whether she read the note or not. But the thing is, NAEEM, this is your establishment, and the way you welcome a guest wasn't on par. So she came late. The way you get more honey from bees is to give a little sugar. So be a little bit nicer. If I was her in that point, I would have been like, well, are you going to make me a drink? I'm late. I'm tired. I'd certainly love to taste the smoothies in your establishment, but it was just war. But, that's the good kind of war I used to like in my 20s. I would have been going back and forth, and that was my toxic trait. So I could totally understand, but she kept on going and going and going, and he kept on lobbing right back. And it's kind of like, just say, you know what? I really don't think this is going anywhere. Bye. That's it. But it was just a little too much for me. It's like she's already late, and I don't know if she could be coming in. NAEEM could think she's coming in late. She had to get mic'd up and everything. She could be already irritated from that traffic, whatever. Somebody's got to bring the strength down in the room. Shout out, David.
I just feel like this is the most asinine conversation I've seen on TV in a long time. Personally, as a woman, I heard y'all, if women want to give out Google numbers, fake numbers, text me now numbers, whatever. But if he doesn't like the fact that she gave him one of them, as he calls it, a fake number, he doesn't have to contact her. And if she didn't feel comfortable enough to give him her real number, then why are you pressing him? This is stupid conversation. If you didn't feel safe enough to give him your real number and you had to give him a Google Voice text me number, then why do you give a F that he called you or not? And then you're asking him on a whole separate day, on a whole separate day, on a whole separate date, on a whole different time, why you didn't call me. The man told you already, I didn't call you because I don't want to text your text me now, green bubble, whatever you got going number. So either give me your real number or don't worry about if I call you or not. What is the conversation? I am confused. And then she comes late, like Elsa said, there's traffic. It also, she needs to get mic'd up, whatever. But then she comes in with a bad attitude. And comes in trying to act like she's not late and didn't miss the whole late date. I feel like if you're going to be that late, you should just not come personally. But whatever, maybe they're obligated to come, so whatever. But her whole disposition about being late was also off-putting, in my opinion. And I don't even like Mr. Hotep, but to me, I'm gonna call a spade, and for me, she's in the dead wrong. I'm not texting your text me now number. I told you I'm not texting your text me now number. So you have a problem with that, then just have a problem with that. Or give me your real number, or we cannot communicate at all. That also works. Very stupid conversation. This is what I call like low vibrational conversation.
I co-sign all Seaway said, and I'm gonna raise it 10 because if I'm late, and like Elsa said, I probably deal with traffic, trying to get mic'd up and all this other stuff like that, and I come in here and I ask you what I missed. Don't ask me what time I get here so I confirm that I missed something. I already know I freaking missed something. These two deserve each other. These two need to just go ahead and be with each other because the idiocracy of it all just got on my daggone nerves. Okay, I'm pissed off with production for putting this whole conversation back in there because she's already had this Google number, why you didn't call me situation. Like Seaway said, why the freak are you back here asking about it again? If you don't feel safe enough to give the man your number, if you don't feel safe enough to block him because he got your real number and you tired of him calling you so daggone much and now you know he calling, stop asking why you didn't call me. So it just made no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad she had some decency, some sense at some point to just get up and walk away when he gonna sit there and ask, is that the real phone or not? Like, bruh, please stop talking to me. But the both of them pissed me the hell off. You know what I'm saying? They both could have went an elimination together at this point because this was just stupid to me.
Then she gave the dude that eliminated her the real number. So folks on the show have her real number and others don't. So True, you're playing games. You're playing games. I'm not. If I'm Mr. 5 kids, 3 baby mamas, I'm not playing with you. I have enough people to play with. I am not playing with you.
Got 5
You got
kids
the phone number, but not the age number.
Right. She
That's
being
what I'm saying.
for her age with
She's
her
selective
phone.
with numbers. She has a thing with numbers. She identifies with no numbers, you know, so that's her right.
Math was not her subject.
AW said he needs to play with them kids. He definitely needs to play with them kids, and that means he has no time to play with True and her 5 numbers and her 10 phones. I'm not playing with her.
Listen, them kids just spread across 3 baby mamas. He got babysitters galore. He's fine.
Yeah, bottom line, Seaway's right. No one had any obligation to do either. You know, I just met you. I don't have to use your number. And I just met you. I don't have to give you my real phone number. But if that bumps heads, then we're at a point now where okay, we both understand what it is. She knows why he didn't reach out. So again, why you're asking the question. But at the same time, I do feel like he was being a bit of a butthole about her being late. Like he brought that up at least 3 or 4 times in the conversation. And I didn't think it was really necessary to do that. I think he could have just, acknowledged the fact she was late. She was apologetic about being late. That's what I look for the most. Are you apologetic about being late? If you are, okay, let's move on with the rest of our date because we don't have that type of time to be wasting. But he's sitting there playing games. She's sitting there playing games. I think they do deserve each other, but it's really evident when you hear people talking, interacting with each other, why they are single. So I definitely get why NAEEM is single, but also get why True is single as well, especially when it came to that elimination conversation. So yeah, that's it for me for this particular topic.
I think the other issue with her is that she is defensive, and I think she has a big ego because she expects people to just, bow down to her. And unfortunately, it's not even like she rubbed NAEEM the wrong way. She also rubbed the other dude the wrong way too, playing that age game conversation.
CALIL?
Yeah, exactly.
And the rest of the men's lounge who put her up out the show.
So at the end of the day, she's got to look at herself in the mirror. She thinks she's perfect. She pretty much all but said that the last episode, in terms of she's thinking that she's all good, because I believe this is her second time in being in the bottom. So I think she's got to do some self-reflection and realize that she rubs people the wrong way. Her ish does stink, and you have to treat people kindly. And she comes off as she's also a little arrogant as well in the way she talks to people. But her and NAEEM have been doomed since he told her her nails weren't done. So I don't know why these two keep going back and forth with each other. And also, he did call her, by the way, but she texted him back, ? So she likes to play games, hide her hands and throw a rock and hide her hand. And those type of people, they don't win long. They don't win long, and that's why she's here. So I hope she really does look back and say, you know what, I was just giving these guys hell for no reason. Because she actually did like CALIL, because she said it. She was like, I gave you my number. So you gave him your number, you liked him, but you want to play games, ring around the rosy when it comes to what your real age is. This is a dating show. Everybody tells their age, all right? It's not a time to be demure about how old you are. Whatever you are, say it. And with her, let me see your driver's license. I'm sorry. I need to see your driver's license. Matter of fact, don't tell me a number. Just slide your driver's license over, because she's the type of person to tell you she's 32 and the number is probably a decade off. So that's that.
Yeah, he's also a petty king. I'm glad you mentioned that, because NAEEM is also a petty king. He's very petty. He's been petty since the nails situation, like Sean said. And so she's really messing with the wrong one, because they're going to go band for band. The whole time they're gonna go band for band. And so honestly, I don't know why she's being petty with him, because I don't be petty with these petty dudes. He's very petty. And yes, that late thing was very petty, but he also done told her 5 billion times, I'm not texting a text me now number. And to me, I said it last week, I'm gonna say it again, neither am I, especially after I do call you and you're playing again. And yeah, I'll hold my comments about the CALIL, and I guess we're getting there. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I said
this is gonna be quick. A word of advice for women: don't argue with a man with 5 kids and 3 baby mamas, because he's an expert in stressing women out and arguing. Trust me, if he got 3 baby mamas and 5 kids, that man is used to some arguing and tussling. Don't do it. It's highly unadvisable. Don't do it.
Okay, I'll just say it real quick. I'm going to play DA real quick. I think that the phone call that NAEEM gave her and her reaching back out with question marks was her saying, who is this calling me? I don't have your number locked in. It's a Google Voice number. So when you call it or text it, only thing that comes up is a number. If she doesn't know the number, and everybody's been guilty of that at some point, you don't know the number, you don't answer. So her response in question marks was like, who is this calling me? But NAEEM took it like, you should have my number locked in. If you don't know who I am, then it's a problem. Or you saying question marks, I don't know what that interpretation means. But I think that's what it really was about. He called her.
Then don't come up here asking why you ain't called me, because you don't even know his number to know if he called you or not. Please, like.
Bingo. Now, I agree with that.
When you do the Google number, it announces the person. So when you call somebody from a Google number, you announce who you are. Unless she was still playing again.
That's a feature you can turn on or off, though. You can turn
that feature's not always on there.
If she didn't turn that off, then she's also less than smart.
And if,
Is it
and if
off on her phone? Because it's super easy.
And probably
I've
had it
used
going
it before.
directly. Probably had it going
But
directly to her phone.
yeah, but
Yeah.
she want to be petty too because you sending these question marks because he sent you thumbs up the last time because that's what she was crying about the last time. Is that he responded with thumbs up? Like you're both childish and petty. You trying to out
Yes.
petty each one, like you trying to out petty the other and stuff like that, and now you getting burned at the end. Like, ma'am, you're going home now.
Now that we're talking about these question marks, right? I'm curious, Coach. I don't know if you have the clip of when he said, "I don't respond to question marks" or something like that. He said, "I want to see True's face, like she was like, oh, that was you who called me," because I don't think she even knows that he called her. I don't think she even knows that that was him until he mentioned, "Hey, you sent me question marks." I think it was surprising there.
Child,
But we're on a dating show. We're on a dating show. You've got what, 10?
Answering everybody, yeah, because it's like, you know, when you go for a job and you got to answer all the calls because you don't know which time is. That's how I feel it is. If you're on a dating show, you need to answer all the unknown calls because you don't know which one's going to be your call.
Exactly.
Or if it's production,
Or if it's, yeah.
I agree 100%.
I get what you're saying though, Corey. I get the theory, and you may be right, but that's just adding to her being goofy.
There's a lot of things that added to that Seaway, but you know.
Now the question is, was she late because of other obligations, or she just didn't want to be huffing and puffing like Fritz?
It's probably both, because Fritz looked a mess. He looked like Thomas on Lovers on Maths.
She claimed she had to work.
That was her excuse.
Some people are really showing every moment while they're single. They're giving. I feel like slowly but surely we have discovered why half of these people are on this show, if not 75%. We really seeing it. I feel like every person we should actually dictate why are they single. It's clear. We don't know why Khalil's single yet, though.
Oh, it's gonna be something deep, I'm sure.
He said he went to an African school, so maybe that's part of it. Let's obviously talk about Khalil and True. You know, hey, it would do a number on you, boy. When you get your ass whooped, it would do a number on you. Okay,
is that a thing over there? Because I never heard of an African school until he just said it.
I was assuming that he had that in America. I wasn't assuming that he was back home. You know, I was assuming that
like it was here in America.
School, yeah.
It's
like, huh?
It's in Philly.
Remember, Philly has a lot of that Dr. Umar Hotep atmosphere, so they have a lot of you know,
that's where he's from.
You know, they big on Kwanzaa there and everything. So,
well, thanks for the education. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a charter school. There are quite a few charter schools that has that, you know, African.
Is that where Dr. Umar's school gonna be?
Yeah, that's when it gets built.
Well, that's where he got his doctorate.
Are you serious?
1995. Yeah.
In Philly.
I'm not still anticipating this school.
He needs sponsors, and I think y'all will be great.
Oh my God! Thanks for the education.
He's been looking for plumbers since 2010.
Right, at this point, he's gonna be calling all of us to have him help. All right, cool. Let's talk about obviously True's conversation with Khalil. I will play 2 clips. Obviously, I'll play the end, and then I can go backwards for you guys as well, so you can see that part as well. But there was a conversation here. Let us play this. Let us play this.
That you know, felt this way.
Yeah.
That could have communicated.
So it was some sort of confusion.
This is one conversation from one person. He's like a little cancer. He went and he spread and he got in your head.
NAEEM wasn't the only person that put you at the bottom.
Yeah,
obviously, you already know that.
Yeah.
We asked the guys, nobody.
Yeah. So she said, Mr. NAEEM with the 5 kids was like a little cancer. I want to get your thoughts, True and Khalil's situation, because Khalil, and I didn't play the clip for you, I should have played the one that actually really mattered most, which was about the age, the mysterious age situation, which they actually argued about, where she was being mysterious about her age and not telling him how old she was, which she finally came through and said she was 35. I want to get your thoughts on this. Why was she holding back? You know, what was the point of her kind of holding back the information and not telling people, you know, what she was, you know, how old she was? Why was that such a sticky point for her as well, you know.
Because she knew CALIL is 31 or 32, whatever he is, 30, 31, 32. And she knows that she is nowhere near 35. And instead of being straight up about that, she's doing the charade spring, summer, winter, fall. You know, I'm in the middle of the pack. Which pack not gonna tell you which age range, but I'm in the middle. I mean, it was just so, and I said this before in the beginning, I'll say it again. If she was truly 35 on a show where everyone's in between the ages of 30 and 50, there would be no reason for her to lie about that. 35 and a 31, 32-year-old is not a problem, even usually for that 31, 32-year-old. So it's quite clear that she's not 35. And her level of dishonesty, she's also going to need to see that lady, because that doesn't make any sense. There's literally nothing to lie about if she was actually 35.
And then to say there are other people older than me, it's like, then why do you need to lie? Why do you need to lie about the age range? It's a, you know, the men will question you if, you know, you don't state something that is so quick and easy to give. How old are you? You say you want kids, you say you want this, you want to, you know, future, whatever. He's going to think, okay, age determines, you know, how quickly we have to consider this, possibly. But again, it's like something easy, you know, or if you wish to be coy about it, there's another way to be coy about it. I think she just came there just not to be fined. I don't think she was really, you know, too into it. But then at elimination, you're going to be like, oh yeah, well, I answered you though. Too late. And he's trying to give her constructive criticism. And unfortunately, I got to say, Sahara took her constructive criticism way better than True did. True was like, yeah, it was NAEEM. Yeah, people are older. She kept pointing at everyone else. And she doesn't want to look and see how she could do better.
I'm not really why she thought that, yeah, other people are older thing was a flex. I don't know why she just made it worse on herself. Like, she should have left that one alone or whatnot. Just like she should have left a lot of this conversation alone. Trying to find out if NAEEM is the one that said whatever and put him at the bottom, and just go to the fact he's a Cancer and he put it all in your head. Ma'am, you've already been into the lounge. You already know how the lounge works, that it does not rely on one person's vote or whatever. And he can't be putting things in their head of things that you are doing if you're not doing them. So what are you talking about? You're playing games with too many people and they're tired. That's all it is they're tired. So just listen to the fact that you need to stop doing this once you take your behind in the real world, because that's where you're on your way to. Have a nice life. Like, this man didn't even want to sit there and stay for the food or another drink with you because you're so freaking annoying. He had to sit here and ask you again for you to sit here and tell him all you had to do was ask me my age. He asked you your age and you sat there and said mid something. You're mid something. I'm mid something. What the frick is mid something when I'm asking you your age? It's not even that deep. Like, if you feel comfortable with the fact that you're 35, say it loud and proud. I'm 35, ho. You know what I'm saying? That's all you had to say. Like, it ain't had to be that daggone deep, but you over here making it a whole issue. So the man put you at the bottom. And I'm glad he stood on 10 and said, no, it was me. It was me, because I'm going to let you know I put you on the bottom too, because when I asked you your age, you act like it was a problem. So I can see where these men was coming from or whatever. If I had any doubts, I didn't have any then. That's basically what he told her. But she want to sit and still fight everybody. So you go fight the world now. That's what you go do. You go fight the world, and hopefully you find your person that want to play these games with you, because these men is tired.
Yeah. She's not 35, but it gives the energy of him asking her that question, and she went home, thought about it. What kind of age can I give that's believable? And still gave the wrong age of 35.
Corey, you said to me?
I'm just saying that I don't know who she thought was going to believe that she was 35. I went to high school with her, so I can tell you right now she's not 35. No, I'm just playing. But
what?
I'm just playing. But what I'm saying that she could have been a little bit more believable at 39, 41-ish. Could have been a little bit more believable than 35, because the way she answered it, it was like she practiced for that quiz and she was finally ready to give her answer. And that 35 was just completely off for me. I think she was very disappointed. I think she expressed disappointment in all the men by saying that it was only one man. He was a cancer and went around and just started talking to you guys believe it. So she's really upset with all of the men. With that statement, she doesn't feel that the men stood up for themselves. She thinks all the men are weak by that statement. That's what I got from it. And because she was just completely dismissive at that point. Once she realized, okay, you guys all believe this one guy, and it really hurt her feelings. That's when CALIL came forward. I respect him for doing it as well, because he didn't have to say anything. I respect the fact he said, hey, I had the issue with you too. It wasn't just one man. Then at that point, she didn't have much of a defense. She just had to take her wounds and lick her paws. So my thing for her is accepting where you went wrong. And she just never accepted it. She didn't accept the fact that she kept going on and on about him calling. She didn't accept the fact that the men just weren't into her and the reason why. She didn't even accept the fact that CALIL did ask her for her age. She said, well, all you had to do was ask. He asked you like 4 times. Like, how old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? So she didn't want to answer the question at that time. That's why I think she thought about it, came back and did that. So yeah, all bad.
Okay. Any other thoughts on CALIL and the true situation?
Well, when in Rome says she doubt production will lie for her. Well, then I'm going to say this like I said last time. If she really is 35, 36, what it's saying on the website, then that's a bigger problem. Then that's a bigger problem. So I'm gonna leave that there. But what's even bigger problem than that is her personality. And I think a lot of folks ain't realizing that you're not finding people not because of you looking old or because how you look, period. It's because you're agitating as hell. I mean, she is just agitating as hell at this point. So it really don't matter if she's 35, 45, or 55. Nobody is gonna want to deal with her. So I could spend a lot of time talking about if she's 35, she needs to stop looking 45 and maybe work on different stuff. But that's a waste of time, because even if that is true and she starts looking her age allegedly, it's not going to help her situation because she is agitating. That's all I can really say. But I will say, if you're going to throw out a fake age, you also need to be aware of what 35 or what 34 looks like. And in 2025, that's just not particularly what it looks like. 35 looks a lot younger than that. I mean, it's just, we're just not looking the same anymore. So there's that. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Seaway.
Yes.
Did you tell this lady to stop looking 45?
I did. And I said last week, if you're going to wear them statement necklaces and them wrap dresses, and also her hair piece that she's wearing also is aging her, and the different stuff that she's doing, yeah, you look very, very old, but yet you're going after 31-year-olds, but you're not looking age appropriate. Yeah, she doesn't really look age appropriate for the people that she's interested in. Now, if she was going after Mr. Sebastian, what's his name? Am I just calling him Sebastian?
Yes, you continue to call that man Sebastian. Are you talking about Francisco?
Francisco.
I think that's Francisco.
Oh,
Definitely Francisco.
Yeah, if she goes,
you were close, though. You were close.
Thank you. If she's going after Francisco Sebastian, then yes, she can say she's 35 or 45. They look age appropriate. They look like they go together. That works. They look fine. You know what I mean? But when we're talking about Khalil looks like a young man. He looks like a man in his younger 30s. Eddie actually looks like younger. I'm just thinking of the dudes who look younger. The dude with the braids, Jay, he looks younger. I mean, these people just look younger. She honestly kind of looks age appropriate with Mr. 5 Kids, three baby mamas. They look age appropriate, you know, but it's about what you look like. But you can't be going after a 31-year-old and want to be coy about your age. Like, get the F out of here. Then talk about the women in their 40s look older. Angie look good. If she talk about Angie.
And Shanice, because Shanice is 43,
and Shanice
44.
look good.
She's a baddie, you know?
Oh,
so, hey.
yeah.
So she throwing shade at the 40-somethings, the 39, 40-something. They look the F good, okay? And you don't see them they're not lying about their age. Shanice body T. Hair
That's
T.
what I said. She making it worse when she keep trying to sit there and take little digs, trying to say other people is older. Well, it's not making you look any better, sweetie.
Right. Rosalie is older, look good. Not that much older, but allegedly older than her. Allegedly, by her account. I'm just saying these people look good. So I don't know.
Who's Rosalie?
I think her name is Rosalie.
Who?
Oh, Rose?
What's her name?
What are you talking about, Seaway?
It has to be Rose.
No, her name
Are
is
you
Rose.
partaking in something that you've never partaken in? Because
No, her real name is Rosalie. It's Rose.
Oh,
but
you
it's
might be right. Okay, you might be right. Okay.
Yeah, now I know I messed up with the Sebastian, but
Yeah,
her name
on the thing, I think it is Rosalie. You're
It's
right. You're right on
Rosalie.
that.
That's what I said. It's talking about Rose.
But we don't know her by no Rosalie.
But see, this is what happens when you want to play petty games and stuff like that. You start aging yourself way faster than you're supposed to. So therefore, she need to stop playing games with people because she's stressing herself out by stressing other people out, and it's aging her. So she need to stop.
Yep. Or go after an older man. Get you that. What do we call them when they got gray hair? A fox?
A silver fox.
Silver fox.
Yeah, get you a silver fox, and then it won't matter how.
Child, they ain't not trying to play them games with her ass either. So she need to just stop playing.
Because Francisco is a silver fox.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta walk in your truth.
Well,
the irony, your name is true.
No interview for you. You better wind her up in her DMs, Kojo. Make nice to her. You know, let her give you her Google Voice phone number. You chat her up.
Well, just imagine her coming over here for an interview and start playing games as soon as he asks her the first question. You like cereal? You like milking your cereal? Define what cereal is? I don't know.
We've had those here before.
I know, but she don't play games all the way through the daggone line.
Kojo handled
You're the
her
one
real
asking
nicely.
her
He'll
for
butter her
ID,
up.
Sean.
He will, but no, when she comes to the channel, don't nobody care at that point. She could be however old she wants to be in her head, you know. Don't matter. Shout out to Janelle.
We'll see, Sean. Don't you think you could be with a young 30-some until your loafers come out? I feel like you could be with a young 30-some.
Not until the loafers come out.
Every time.
So C-Way with her backhand compliment never fails. Never freaking
Give a
fails.
straight compliment, C-Way.
Away from those. And here you go. I have actually dated a 30-something. Hello. Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying it fits. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, it's a off fit. I feel like it works.
And thanks to you, half of my loafer collection is on sale at the Real. So please, I can go over there and support me because my loafers are on consignment.
You know, those are some nice loafers. He got some nice shoes, and I love a good
collection. So there's a.
I'm gonna say what we say the truth. Sean, you're too young for loafers.
Hey, I have a boat shoe. You know, I love a good boat shoe.
Yeah, I have a boat shoe too. I mean, I don't really,
heavy.
I haven't used it in a while, but yeah, I have boat shoes, but that's not what I'm wearing. I'm not running around in no Sperry's.
A little boat shoe with an ankle showing in the UK is hot. Yes, Corey. Corey, go for it.
I do have a question for the ladies. So I want to know what classifies as a silver fox. Is it completely gray hair, or is it salt and pepper?
I was thinking salt and pepper, to be honest, in my head, but
I'd say both. As long as you're in the salt and pepper category, though.
That would make me a silver fox.
Well, we can't even barely see
you. You cannot see your. No, you do not have enough salt, buddy. You all. You everything seasoning right now.
Application denied. Okay.
You got about as many gray hairs as Kojo do. I can't even see. Come on now.
Black play too much.
Hilarious.
Talk about you. You just want to be a silver fox. Well, I don't know. I can't see no gray hairs.
Oh
yeah, your camera light is not helping you on the Silver Fox Club yet, so I don't know.
And there's levels to the silver fox. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, they saying Gia's saying y'all wouldn't count. You, Sean, none of y'all count because y'all bald.
Not because they bald.
That's what
Damn. Look, Corey's the one that wants to be a silver fox. I've never said I wanted to rest in that.
Sean said, "Count me out of that
wants
crap."
To be a fox, not a silver fox.
Count me out.
Fox.
But ain't nothing wrong with it. But you know,
Sean ain't trying to be a
it's not,
silver fox.
Not my identity. I'm aspiring to.
You already started on the road with
I'm going to adjust the lights now, just the lights, and just show you guys it's there. It's definitely there.
That's the
deal.
deal.
Got a local collection for it.
Not loafers and bald heads. I'm crying.
He gonna give the David Banner energy. I hear it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Nothing wrong with that too.
Yeah, they said the bald doesn't count. Dig, I didn't know these rules.
Someone said the full calorie has been challenged. I love that. All right, well, shout out to COLEY. She obviously dropped a super sticker as well a couple hours ago. My bad. I just seen that. So shout out to you, COLEY. You're always dropping something for us as well, and I appreciate you 100%. Much love on that. Any other thoughts on the rest of this episode? Have I missed anything that was important on this episode? I know that Diana and Khalil had a conversation, but he ain't saying nothing apart from going from African school, so I didn't talk about that.
Who do we think Deanna's gonna match up with now? Like, where is she leaning towards?
Who?
Deanna, where is she leaning towards? I can't figure out where she finna be at.
Well, she was talking to Khalil right now, although he's young. He might be a little bit young. I don't know. Yeah, well, she's talking to Khalil. You know she has a height restriction on her dates, so Khalil meets a height restriction. So
she was talking to Eddie in the first episode.
Eddie don't want. I don't think Eddie want her.
Yeah, she was talking to Eddie the first episode. Yeah, I don't know. Eddie was saying, one thing I noticed is that Eddie and Cisco also the same thing. They mentioned that she's strong. As soon as I hear niggas say a woman is strong, that usually is not a good indication. I shouldn't say niggas. I do.
Strong and resilient.
But, yeah, but it's like when a brother's saying those words, you know what I mean? Like, usually it's not the most prettiest thing to be calling someone a black woman. Yeah, she real strong, like, you know, or like, you know, she's giving off that strong. I said, that ain't gonna be a good start. That's usually them being nice for the fact that they don't fancy her too tough. Go for it, see what you're gonna say something.
Oh no, I wasn't. You good?
Oh, okay. Any other thoughts, guys?
Oh, they said, did we talk about Rocky? Oh, did we talk about Rocky and her used to be pushing the P?
The drugs?
Self-incriminating.
Did she say? Oh, she said drugs. Well, I thought she was gonna say the P, but she said drugs. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt, because she started off by saying she was on the streets, and then she said she was selling drugs. She didn't say she was selling P. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt.
There's a lot of things to sell on the corner, Kojo. Why you settle on that one?
Because she said drugs. Because she said drugs.
Oh, my P standing for a different, but I did thought that it stood for that at first. I was like, is this how they get out in Philly? I mean, this is crazy to me. This level of admitting things is just out of control. You got one person who baby daddy in jail. She talked about she used to be on the corner selling things when times got hard. I'm just like, yo, I'm good off Philly in its entirety.
I didn't like how she self-incriminated. I'm a be okay with the chat saying the statute of limitations is probably passed. Okay, there's another dimension to her, and I wonder, we gotta. Does she and Kiara know each other? Did her baby daddy take the fall? Kind of. That's what it sounded like with all this incarceration talk. But she opened up to them, and Rocky said she learned something. She learned that is not the life she wanted, and she's not going back there. So we always like that.
And this is why what's his face need to be the last one to leave. There's a few more people who need to leave before her. Our favorite, what's her name? Our favorite little ghetto girl. What is her name?
Which one, Rocky or Sahara?
Sahara. Sahara got a little bit more episodes in her because Rocky admitting to selling drugs on the corner. I don't know.
Well, like you said, she's a reformed hood, so she has reformed herself, and we are willing to give her the grace for reforming herself. Good on her. Well, alas, our time has come. 3 hours is almost here. It's almost upon us. Deacon, take us away. I'm sure we'll have conversations behind the scene.
So I think we had a fruitful conversation tonight. Things are starting to heat up in Philly, as El Cid would say. It's Philly. I think we have to learn how to share our trauma. That was the biggest takeaway. Learn how to share your trauma, when to share your trauma, how to add context to the trauma that you've been through. And sometimes it's okay to keep your trauma to yourself and the lady. The lady being your therapist, the person that you're sitting with and counseling. And if you've got trauma, some of us, have more baggage and things to work with than others. Please make sure you heal before you enter into relationships, because what you don't heal will be revealed. And I think that's all. Oh, don't get into unnecessary banter and back and forth with people that you're dating. Sparring is for the ring. It is not for our relationships. Back to you, Kojo.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate that. Well, listen, audience, it's been amazing. It's been a fun time, and we've enjoyed ourselves in the in this particular review panel, and it's been good. We had 520, I think we had 530, 40 people in the room today. So listen, thank you for those of you who joined us tonight. We'll be back again next week with another enthralling episode of Ready to Love, ready to break it down all over again. For those of you in the audience, shout out for those of you who are already members and you're enjoying the membership. For those of you who are getting a 3 membership, don't forget when the time runs out to renew that too, because we want to keep you a part of this family and keep you a part of the festivities, as well as most of my lives now will be members chat only, to be honest, just so we can give some more value to those who are part of the family and are part of the membership gang as well. So we're back again tomorrow night. I'm with El Cid at 3:05 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. 05 UK time. We're talking about Married at First Sight Australia. It's just got mad because someone's now the police are investigating. What do we say else the last time about Alan? We said, listen, see how he got investigated by the NSW, the police. That would have been Alan. That could have been Alan, because he burned up some people's houses. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna get you up in the police. So police were called in Australia version for him punching the door, and the woman was nowhere near him. Yet the police have been called. So you gotta be very careful how you respond. And then at 5 p.m. EST, we will be doing Love is Blind. Okay, Love is Blind US. Listen, the last 2 episodes have dropped. It's been quite some carnage. Was it 3 episodes? I've only watched 2. I better watch the 3rd one. Better watch it tonight. Okay, so I have to definitely watch that 3rd episode as well, ready for tomorrow's live at 5 p.m. EST. A little bit more earlier. Like I said, I want to get you guys early to go to bed. Those of you in America, for those of us in UK, they're probably already in bed. So we're going to have a good time tomorrow as well. So make sure you turn up and enjoy yourselves once more. Again, I will cut up the live. So if those of you who are subscribed, you will see some of them, but I'll actually put a few of the cut-ups in members only, so it won't come out. So I've already started doing that. So now whenever we have a live, I'll cut out some of the aspects of the live, but I won't release all of them. Some of them will be behind the members only wall. So if you're a member, you can enjoy. If you're not a member, you won't be able to watch the shortened version. You have to watch the whole thing and kind of guess where we're at. But again, we will see you tomorrow for another enthralling live. I've got some work to do. I've got to work on this workbook for y'all who are on the coaching scene. It's been tearing my head up, man. Me and ChatGTV are going back and forth for time. But I appreciate you guys and ladies and gents. We'll see you again very, very soon. Let me put my little video before we go. Okay, all right? Because you know how I like to have a little video. But listen.
Are you done? Are you done?
Little black book. You know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is. Time it is.